With the battle for general classification still close, Stage 3 was sure to see some fierce racing. Team Engadin Lapunt lead by over 3 minutes over Topada Kenda FSA with Honeycomb 226s and Scott Racing all within around 4 minutes on general classification. Onto the forest trails around Lapunt, the front group stretches out. Scott Racing clearly on form for the 2026 race, pushing hard. A gap forms, Scott Racing clearly animating the racing at the moment. And only Topada Kenda FSA 2 of De Cosmo and Doragoni are able to respond. Start of the elite women's race in their Chiavita orange leaders jerseys, KTM Spada Brenta Brakes Olympia with a 16-minute and 32-second advantage over their nearest rivals Sportograph.com. Out of Lapunt, Anna Weinbier and Claudio Peretti lead the way towards the Alpine Forest Trails, all together on the early part of the race on the narrow paths above Lapunt. It's not long before KTM Spada Brenta Brakes Olympia put the hammer down, opening a gap. The group containing Sportograph.com, Topada Kenda FSA, Marcy ISP Sport are unable to answer the move. KTM Spada Brenta Brakes Olympia continue to forge ahead, the gap growing to 2 minutes. Scott Racing charge on with Topada Kenda FSA 2 glued to the back of the Italian pairing. Team tactics dictate with Topada Kenda FSA 1 back in the chase group. De Cosmo and Doragoni should not cooperate with Goria and Facoli challenging Ravensteiner in South's position on general classification. Topada Kenda FSA Collective are now in the pound seats. The gap, a minute between the lead group of Scott Racing and Topada Kenda FSA. Weinbier demonstrating why she is the Swiss and the European champion in the marathon mountain bike discipline. 30 kilometers down and at halfway, we turn around and head back to Lapunt. Dry roads earlier in the day, the predicted inclement weather begins to develop.
Come on! Money.
In the elite women, the chase group splits up. Sportograph.com, the first casualties. They lose time, likely to slip down on the GC leaderboard. Just how far down is the question. Topada Kenda FSA are on a good day out. The trail suiting the abilities of Sosna Pinelli and Marquette. Already leapfrogging Sportograph on GC. Even with Scott racing up the road, yellow jerseys show little concern, content to let Climatiza Orbia's David Valero power on the front of the chasers. It's Topada Kenda FSA that edge ahead of Scott Racing for their first stage win at the 13th edition. KTM Sparta Brenta Breaks Olympia make it 3 from 3. Joy and elation at the finish for the Swiss-Italian pairing. A look at the results for stage 3, and it was Honeycomb 226's Mark Pritzen and Felix Stierli, narrowly edging out Scott Racing 2, Goria and Focoli. Topada Kende FSA 2, De Cosmo and Doragoni win. Elite women results on the day, and in third spot, Masi ISB Sport. Second place, Topada Kende FSA Women, Katarzyna Sosna-Penele and Georgia Marquette. Anna Weinbier, Claudia Peretti from Team KTM Sparta Brenta Breaks Olympia. 2 hours and 35 minutes of racing. Stage 3 is done and the drama continues. New names at the top of the podium and some shifts on overall general classification. But the top of the leaderboard remains unchanged. We saw more superb trails and a backdrop of classic Swiss alpine scenery in Graubünden. It's the 13th edition of the Swiss Epic. More challenges await tomorrow. Good morning and welcome to Davos, marking the start of stage 4 of the 13th edition of the Swiss Epic. We're past the halfway mark now, with 2 days to go here and 3 days down at the 2026 race. We're hosted by the Graubünden region for all 5 stages, in fact, at Swiss Epic. All part of the Epic series, the worldwide portfolio of mountain bike stage races. This in Switzerland is true alpine mountain biking. We've seen some dramatic racing so far, challenging terrain, breathtaking scenery, and some bracing weather. Yet the rewards are clear: breathtaking scenery and that special feeling that only the riders can experience, having conquered the Alps. Today, stage 4 out of 5. The riders will be digging deep. Mountain bike stage racing fatigue has set in, and as spectacular as the Alps are, they're indifferent to the suffering of the riders. Stage 4 is a true test, blending climbing, flowing sections, and demanding technical trails where focus is super important. We'll start higher in the spectacular Panorama Trail, descend the fast and technical trails to Gotschnaboden, and flow through the forests of Wolfgang and Deelenwald. The stage finishes with the fast and natural Flüela Trail before one final push on the Ischalp Trail, leading us back into Davos. There it is, a beautiful loop around the region and a challenging trail. Another challenging day for the riders. There are over 500 riders that are assembled here in Davos for the start. They'll be looking forward to some of the most iconic trails in the world. And there it is, the profile. Just give an idea of how high we're going. The highest we'll be today will be over the 2,300 meter mark, as we see Scott Racing 2, the protagonists yesterday, making a daring attack. Scott Racing, and bringing with them Topada Kende FSA and a thrilling sprint finish, where the Topada Kende FSA team prevailed in the end, taking the stage. The South African and the Swiss pairing, Mark Pritzen, Felix Stierli, and Honeycomb 226s. And notably, they are riding a new wheel format, a larger wheel format, 32 inches, as opposed to the, what is now standard, the 29-inch wheel. The team of yesterday, winners of stage 3, De Cosmo and Doragoni, Topada Kende FSA. We expect big challenges to come from the Topada Kende FSA outfit. They have 2 teams in the race, and the leading team arguably is Fabian Rabensteiner and Casey South, and they are lying second on overall general classification. And here they are, the experienced pairing, Rabensteiner and Casey South, both former winners of the race, and in fact winners of the 2025 edition, the defending champions. And here they are, the yellow jerseys, Fadri Barendun, Andri Beli, Engadin Lapunt is the team name, and that is exactly where they drove home their advantage. They still have a 3-minute and 11-second advantage, but they took over 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 25 seconds on the first day. Their backyard, they knew every inch of the trail, and they put that to their advantage. Not only on the climb, knowing how to measure their efforts perfectly, but also on those trails. Will be just take a look at the general classification as it stands right now. Barrington and Beerley lead with 3 minutes in hand. 3 minutes and 11 seconds over Rabensteiner and South. Goria and Fakoli of Scott Racing are at 3:28. 6 teams in the mix, all under 5 minutes. And we set them off. The riders head off on the trail today. And in front of them, they have 55 kilometers to cover. 2,150 meters of climbing in Davos. It's a loop around Davos. And of course, the highest point in the race. We saw it earlier at 2,322 meters, Hohenberg. And the lowest point in the race is 1,385 meters in Klosters. Neutral zone as the riders head out onto the trails today. And this morning we are lucky enough to have Hans Becking in the booth with us, and we'll be talking to him in just a moment. Having a look at the general classification for the women. Anna Weinbier, Claudia Peretti, KTM, Sparta, Brenta Breaks, Olympia. After 7 hours and 52 minutes of racing, they have a 25-minute advantage. 25 minutes and 33 over Sosna Pinelli. And the fight really at the moment is over for the, you could say it's over for the orange leader jerseys. However, there is still all to play for those final 2 spots on the podium. Contested by Sosna Pinelli, Georgia Marquette, and also having a look down that leaderboard. Of course, Chapata Kent FSA women. We've just seen now the picture of them, and Sportograph.com, Bettini Yanis and Kim Amos, 29 minutes down, but breathing down their necks. Marcy, ISB Sports, Tessa Kortekas, Amanda Bolin. Sportograph.com in front of us, Bettini Yanis and Kim Amos. They have their work cut out for them today. Yanis and Amos have 2 minutes and 37 seconds over Marcy ISB Sport. And yesterday's performance, they lost a little bit of time to the team of Marcy ISB Sport. And if the graph continues on the trajectory that it's at now, perhaps we'll see Marcy ISB Sport moving into 3rd spot overall. Bettini Yanis and Kim Amos have a tough day ahead of them. They head off and led out by the Chapata Kenda FSA women, Georgia Marquette. Right in front in the blue jersey, Lithuanian champion, her partner, Katarzyna Sosna Pinelli. Close attendance. But Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti are confident with that 25-minute, 33-second advantage. Barring incident, it looks like it's their race this year. You can see on the left the assembled field of amateur riders who have come from all over the world to participate in the Swiss Epic. The challenge to conquer the Alps, and over 450 amateurs in various age categories, all from 41 countries, are assembled here at the start of the Swiss Epic when we started in Le Punt. So we cross back to the women. We're on board with the Bulls Media e-bike. Thomas Ditch, who will be following the women throughout the day and bringing us these live pictures. Unprecedented in sport, really, if you think about it, to be able to go into highly remote areas and navigate the trails and really see the race from the rider's point of view. There's nothing like it. We see already, even just coming out of the town and a wine beer, and Claudia Peretti on the front. Quick look at the left. This is the men's field as we see them lead out, and we're on board with the men with Stefan Sohm on the Bulls Media e-bike. And from the looks of it earlier today, the pictures show us that the race was pretty much all together in the first part of the race. Before the riders tackle the pass incline, they'll be heading up to the highest point in the stage today at 2,322 meters, beg your pardon, at Hohenweg, before they tackle the Panorama Trail and the Gotschnaboden Trail on the A-line, before they reach the first service station. First out of 3 service stations today. And with 55 kilometers, any rider who's done a stage in any of the Epic Series races know that the close proximity of those service stations mean that this is a challenging day out. Only 55 kilometers doesn't seem like a long way comparing it to some of the longhand stages we've seen in the likes of the Cape Epic, but a concentrated day of climbing and technical trails. And we're lucky enough to have with us in the booth right now and bringing us some insights from a rider's point of view, a racer's point of view at the very top end of the sport. Hans Becking we have now. He's still racing as a professional for the Buff BH team, but he also has another project that he's working with, and he'll be telling us a little bit about it. Team Amani, and Hans Becking needs little introduction. He's a multiple national champion, both in cross-country and the marathon discipline. He's won 4 islands. He's a 2-time winner of the Andorra Epic, 2-time podium spots at the Absa Cape Epic, and his best position is second at the Swiss Epic from my records. You were second in 2021. Is that right, Hans?
I guess so. It's a long time ago already.
So you know what it's like to race this race. You've raced on these trails. You have a sense of what it's like and the difference between something like the Swiss Epic versus the Absa Cape Epic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the unique part of they have their own character, both races. So Cape Epic, it's a long 8 days, rough. Swiss is clean, smooth, beautiful trails, but a long climb. So it's more comparing a mountain. I think Swiss Epic you can compare to a mountain stage in the Tour de France, or like something really up in the Alps, and Cape Epic is more like a classic race with Tour of Flanders. You can compare it like this. So different racing, but both very beautiful.
And the kind of terrain in Switzerland that would suit maybe necessarily the local riders. We were hearing earlier about the altitude and how much of a difference that makes in the performance of the riders, and it seems from just the chats we've had with the riders that preparation makes a big difference, and not only just preparation, because all of the top professionals are well prepared and well conditioned athletes, but preparation on these trails at this altitude. How much of a difference does that make?
I think you can, if you don't prepare on altitude for a race like this and you go directly 100% maximum effort in altitude, you feel like you're missing half a lung. And the longer you stay in altitude, the more you adjust. Also the recovery, if you're not prepared in altitude, the recovery takes a bit longer. So in that case, I think it's the best, absolutely best, if you race over 1,500 meter and go up to, like today, 2,300 meter of altitude. It helps that your lungs are prepared to the low amount of oxygen, and the best way is just to train in Livigno, close by here, or like the locals, they live here. So it's absolutely, absolutely helpful for this kind of races.
So as a racer throughout the year, you're likely to target a few races. You wouldn't be able to race at your very maximum capabilities throughout the season. It's a long season that starts as early as February, finishes perhaps even after October, the World Championships, and of course the races after October. Is a long season. The riders that have targeted the Swiss Epic are the ones that would have arrived here a little bit early. We spoke to Mark Pritson, And of course, you could say he's local, Felix Stehli from the Honeycomb 226s, and they said they arrived really early in Switzerland and spent some time here on the trails, testing the trails themselves. So it looks like that's all paying off at the moment. Quick look at them on general classification. They won the thrilling sprint into stage 3 yesterday. So they are clearly on form. Their legs are sharp and fresh. But they are currently lying, on general classification, they're lying 4th. And 2 seconds off the pace of 3rd. 2 seconds off the 3rd spot. So pretty much you could say that is all together. 2 seconds is literally the blink of an eye. And just the slightest of gaps that Scott Racing would leave would put Honeycomb 226s into 3rd spot on overall. Now, the yellow jerseys, we see them in front of us right now. We're following them with the Bulls Media e-bike. And we'll be getting some time checks in just a moment to understand exactly how much of an impact this pace is having on the riders. If you're Engadin Lapunt wearing the leaders' jerseys, they are leading this race admirably. They have a 3-minute and 11-second advantage over the nearest team, the 2025 champions, Ravensteiner and South. But Scott Racing are 3:28 back. Honeycomb 226s, we spoke about them at 3:30. But notably, Topada Kende FSA have 2 outfits here, 2 teams at the race, with Cosmo and Dorigoni riding in backup of Ravensteiner and South. Hans, you're currently in an outfit where you would have seen 2 teams. You would have the luxury of having 2 teams in the race. What kind of a tactical advantage does that have? Not just from a tactical point of view, a parts donor point of view, but also from a mindset point of view, a comfort and a stress-free or less stressful situation.
Yeah, it helps a lot knowing that somebody is there to help you. Like you have your teammate, of course, where you can count on, but then have 2 extra teammates, it helps a lot. In 2 ways: that there's spare material. If you can see here on the Panorama Trail, I remember it's very, very dangerous one for flat tires. There are a lot of sharp stones. But then if you have a flat tire, there's somebody close by. So you can also, if the team decides like one of the 2 teams is going to go full gas and take all the risks and try to put the leader jerseys under pressure, it makes absolutely sense to make that plan in the morning. And then they can absolutely take more risk. And okay, if they have a flat tire, they still have a second option. And that gives you more of an easy mindset to race, to take the risk and not be scared. Because as the leader jersey on this kind of trail, you're thinking, I don't want to flat, you have to be careful, don't take the risk. And as I see Fabri and Adin now, they do a really good job. They are in the front. They have 1 rider of the team Scott in front of them. The second one is behind them, so they can set their own pace. And it looks like the first climb, it's a really big climb. They did very well. They are in the front where they want to be. So actually, for the leader jerseys today, looks like till now they have everything under control. I think they have a small gap of 30 seconds, looks like it on the video, even closer on the Torpedo teams. So yeah, basically for them it looks good. Torpedo have to change and have to chase, and probably they will close in the downhill. With that thing said, that the leader jersey have to ride to protect their bike, their tires, and not take unnecessary risks. And Torpedo need to close the gap, so they will probably take some risk and will be able to close the gap. But then again, the leader jerseys are there where they need to be.
Well, they certainly are. They're right in the front at the moment and riding with Scott Racing. We expected to see fireworks from Scott Racing and inform Goria and Fokoli for sure. They are pushing as hard as they can. They not only are looking to gain time on the yellow jersey, gain time on the others, because any spot on that podium at the end of 5 days is a prestigious place to stand in mountain bike stage racing. Looking at the 14-kilometer mark, we have some time checks, and Scott Racing are in the lead, currently riding with Engadin Lapunt, the yellow jerseys, matching the Scott Racing team pedal stroke for pedal stroke, and a short way back, 5 seconds back, which is really not much at all. You could arguably say they're very much in touch. Our Topada Kende FSA team, Ravensteiner and South, and the next Topada Kende FSA team, De Cosmo and Dorigoni, are 19 seconds back. So all in touch. As we see, we looked a little bit down that time check. Klimatiza Orbia are also in the mix, just under a minute down. And we have a look at the graphic. to see where the elite women are currently right now, with 45 kilometers to go. Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti have already put down the power and gained 2 minutes and 15 seconds over Kortekas and Bolin. Janis and Amis are at 5 minutes and 35. But we will need to see a time check, of course, for the Topata Kende FSA women. We didn't see them on the graphic. Katarzyna Sosna-Penele, Georgia Marquette, who are currently on second on general classification. The current leaders on the stage: Anna Weinbier, Claudia Peretti, the Swiss champion and the Italian champion. However, the Swiss champion, Anna Weinbier, will be wearing her European champion jersey. So clearly on form this year, Anna Weinbier, and definitely the locomotive, the driving force of the KTM Spider Brenta Brakes team. Claudia Peretti admirably is matching her pedal stroke for pedal stroke. Clearly the finest team out at the Swiss Epic this year. We're following Team Masi ISB Sport currently on the trail. Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin. Some spectacular trails as they head out on this 55-kilometer loop, and we're with the Bulls Media e-bike, and on board the Bulls Media e-bike, Thomas Ditch, who himself has placed third at the Absa Cape Epic and mostly ridden in support of the 5-time winner Carl Platt. No better person to bring us these live pictures from the Bulls Media e-bike. Thomas, we hope you can hear us. Tell us what's happening out on the trails on this spectacular route today. Thomas, over to you.
Nice line.
Here we're just struggling to get connection with Thomas Ditch, and just a moment while we establish that audio connection with the Bulls Media e-bike, currently behind the team of Masi ISB Sport. I beg your pardon, what we're looking at right now, that's, yes indeed, it's Masi ISB Sport with Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin.
I can hear you now, I think. Yeah, the current situation, I am with the second and third women team. We are on the Panorama Trail. It's really, really beautiful today. The weather is nicer than yesterday. And yes, it's again a nice stage. The fourth stage is really nice.
Some spectacular images from the Bulls Media e-bike, able to bring us these pictures. Really what it's like to ride these trails is, unless the next best thing, of course, is to enter the 2027 Swiss Epic and to experience it for yourself. If you're in any doubt, there are few more rewarding experiences as a mountain biker. Thomas Ditch bringing us some insights out on the trail. Looking at the women's race right now, at 44 kilometers to go, Weinbier and Peretti have flown 2 minutes 20 back on the next team, but notably Janis and Amis have lost over 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 40 to the leaders of the stage today, but most notably that spot on the overall podium, the third spot that they occupy right now. They were second on GC after day one. They shifted down to third, and now that third spot is under threat from the Masi ISB Sport team. And there we go, a quick graphic as to where we are out on the course, and chasing two teams, Kortekas and Bolin, Sosna Penele Marquette are in pursuit of Anna Weinbier, but Janis and Amos are ailing today. They had 2 minutes and 37 advantage over Kortekas and Bolin on overall general classification, and it looks like that lead has been wiped out as they head out. Anna Weinbier, Claudia Peretti, KTM Spider, Brenta Brakes, Olympia. Yet another great day out. Could they make it 4 out of 4 today as they head out on this loop with 43 kilometers to go? Weinbier and Peretti are very much in charge of the elite women's race. Above the clouds, as beautiful as these views are, the riders will need to keep their eyes very firmly on the trail, and no better person to tell us what that's all about. It really is about appreciating the nature that you're riding in, but of course just the smallest, sharpest stone is the one that you least expect. And Hans, you've experienced that before. You know what it's like to have incident out on the course.
Yeah, unfortunately I do. It happens sometimes. But yeah, if you're in the racing, your shots in your mind is so focused that sometimes you pick up the views a little bit, but it's going to be more focusing. Where is this rock? Where are the other riders going? How far is the climb? Which line I have to choose? There's many things going on, so they won't enjoy as much as I will do this afternoon when I just take some music and I take my bike and do some training on the same course they did today. So I'm lucky today.
Just watching the Torpedo team just navigate the tricky trails a foot out. Now, it's also worth bearing in mind, these are some of the most experienced mountain bikers in the business right now. And many of the viewers will have watched World Cup racing in the cross country. That is a prepared course and a lap course that riders will have a chance to have at least a good course recon, you could say. But marathon mountain biking is completely different. It's completely raw, and for the likes of most of the riders here, it's unexpected.
Yeah, it's different when you can do a loop of 4 or 5 kilometers. You can do it 6-7 times, so you know exactly where is every rock. You know the speed you have to carry throughout the turns. Then a cross-country course, everybody can do it at a high speed at some point. But here, especially on this trail, there are a lot of blind turns. You really need to have a natural feeling, an instinct, which line you have to choose, which speed you have to carry, how to use your body weight. Especially on this trail, like I predicted, I think they closed the gap to the leaders on this trail. It's very long. Soon they have the first tech zone, if I'm not mistaken, and then they go into the forest. That trail is extremely slippery. I remember even when it's dry, there are a lot of off-camber routes. But with the rain now, they will have a good challenge ahead now. And yeah, as you can see, they are together now. Again, the leaders are still in a good position. I think they're second and third position. So perfect place for them to be. Torpedo's back in the front. That will make the leaders a bit more nervous to see them. I think no stopping in the first feed zone. No. Just a new battery.
Do you think there'd be some comfort that the yellow jerseys would have, the fact that they were able to match the Scott Racing pedal stroke for pedal stroke?
Absolutely. The first big climb, somebody's looking for a battery. But the first big climb, it's absolutely, if you don't have the legs there already, you start to panic, you start to stress a little bit for the rest of the stage. But like they are up front there, following the Scott team, they are in control. I think they're quite relaxed to take on the stage. And as the biggest part of the biggest climb is done for today, I think they are. It gives you a good feeling, a good flow that you know you're not dropped in the first climb and you have the legs. You had actually a good sleep. You're recovered from the last 3 days. That's been not only hard for the legs but also for the whole body with the cold coming in, the rain, a bit uncertainty about the stages, what's coming on. It plays a bit with your mind. And now they have a full stage. They're back to what they signed up for. They know what to do. So they look like they're on a good day.
And on a good day is the team of Weinbeer and Peretti, they are over 2 minutes ahead of the chasing team. They're holding that gap, it looks like. The Marcy ISB Sport team are riding exceptionally well. Tapata Kenda FSA women. We haven't caught a glimpse of the likes of Katarzyna Sosna-Penelli and Georgia Marquette yet. We're currently with the Marcy ISB Sport team, but notably, the team of Sportograph.com are losing time. Almost 4 minutes to the Marcy ISB Sport team. So that third spot looks to be under threat.
Yeah, in the women race, we still have a fight for the second and third place. And it looks like now, I think Amanda and Tessa, they open up quite a big gap on the current third place in the overall. So, but they are together with Katarzyna and Marchette, I think.
We're watching this high-speed descent. A big difference between this and the trails we saw earlier on the rocky sections. Just the speed. We always associate downhill with high speed, but not in the trail we saw earlier.
Yeah, especially this downhill. I remember now they go open to this wider section. Extremely high speed. I remember I did it once on a very hot day, and my brakes, they decided not to to work too well because they got so warm, and it was such a long downhill that I had to put my feet down. But I think up there now it's not that hot, and they will have enough braking power to get down the hill.
And it's all about managing the equipment and not just the body and the nutrition and the fatigue, but also the equipment. And no doubt the riders are very much in tune with all of those marker points. What do you look out for when obviously you know your body well and you know the signs of fatigue? What do you look for? Really look for on the bike?
Basically, I always say you want to flow like water a little bit. You want to be smooth. You want to be light. You don't want to hit every rock. You don't want to do what Amanda does, or Tessa, I think, at the moment. Skip the bridge and then get in the water, have to keep your feet out. You want to stay clipped in, you want to feel comfortable, a lot of confidence on the bike, and then get in this kind of flow where you just feel everything is not that hard, have like clean lines, don't make it too hard on the bikes, but some days you wake up with it and it's there. But some days also you really have to look for it. And then also fatigue, if you start to get tired, you will find that rocks, you will find that bad line. So it's a mix of having your mind sharp, have a super clear focus, and then synchronize that with what your body has to give that day.
And we're with Stefan Sam on the Bulls Meter e-bike. He's following the top riders out on the trail right now, and we see in front of us this Jose Diaz, who's partnered with David Valero, the much decorated Spanish rider, Olympic medalist and World Cup winner himself in the cross-country discipline, and now very much at home in mountain bike stage racing. This is the fight for the 5th place, and we saw earlier the KTM logo on the shirt of the Samparisi brothers. They are riding brand new bike. Only received a delivery of the bike 4 days before the race. They didn't have much of a chance to ride it, and it's quite a big difference to be on a wheel format of 29-inch and then suddenly jump onto 32, especially for a race at this level. It would be really interesting to hear your insight, Hans, if you say you haven't ridden a 32 yet, but to ride a brand new, it's all very well to ride new equipment, but to ride a brand new wheel size format, that must be quite a challenge for the Samparisi brothers.
Yeah, and they manage really well because being in the top 10 here, it's not easy, and like you said, I think the turning, it's going to be a bit different, the acceleration, you need to find that confidence with the bike, and on some part I think they struggled a bit in the beginning, but I also see in the faster stage they did quite well. So I would not be too happy about it, but it's part of if racing, and on the other hand also if you go in fast and quick and they drive you in to the deep with big wheels, then it's also a good way to try it. And
well, the new format that seems to be coming into its own. We saw it when we saw the 32-inch wheels win a stage at the Absa Cape Epic earlier this year. So clearly it can perform at the highest level of the sport. It just depends on the terrain. The disadvantage of the 32-inch format is, of course, it's slightly larger and therefore heavier. So perhaps a little bit more difficult to accelerate through the tighter sections of the trails, which is characterized by the Swiss Epic, of course, but it definitely comes into its own on the wide open roads where the speed differentials are not so great. Be able to just keep momentum, and like Mark Pritson said, once you get this bike going, it doesn't stop. We're on board with the Bullsmead e-bike of Stefan Sam, himself a 3-time winner of the Absa Cape Epic, and has the skills to be able to bring us these incredible pictures. Witness what's actually happening and making history are the teams out front. Small gaps developing, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat to Stefan. If Stefan can hear me, Stefan, please give us an update as to what's happening in the racing right now.
Yeah, hey, Neil and Hans. Amazing stage so far. Like a brutal climb at the beginning, and the yellow jersey got attacked by the Scott team right at the top, but they managed to just stay in on the wheels. And I mean, the views at the top were amazing. Don't know if the riders could enjoy the views, but that trail is always spectacular. And then the fast sections, like Hans said, you really need a good set of brakes to slow yourself down. But no issues today. It's pretty chilly, but the conditions are good. The roots and rocks are pretty slippery down, because the riders dragged some dirt stuff on them, so you really need to be careful where you put your wheel.
We saw earlier, Stefan, in the race, David Valera had a mechanical on stage 1, losing time. We expected big things from this team. How are the Klimatiza Orbia team performing now? Valera on the front and Diaz at the back right now. You're following them currently. Jose Diaz wearing the national championship jersey. He's the champion of Portugal, and in the marathon discipline, Valera is in fact the European champion and an on-form rider for sure this year at this year's race. So shame for him. He did expect big things of himself and of the team, but these things happen out on the trails.
I think in the last time check they were not that far off. It looks like they're chasing, but in the clouds it's hard to see. But yeah, Valero, it's not a very nice present to be team up with him, because he is such a machine. I remember the Armani boys, the youngsters in the States, 2 days ago at the time trial. Valero passed them and the boys tried to hang on, and they got angry at him, not because he did something wrong, but he went so ridiculously fast on the bike and they couldn't hang on. But yeah, you also see here that Jose is struggling to hold the wheel. Jose is I did many races with him, and he is very steady always, and he has his own rhythm. And I think, yeah, he's having a tough day to try to follow David.
And what a contrast in the weather with we saw blue skies earlier, now we're back into the mist, catching pictures of the men and the women's race in different parts of the course, because the elite women did start 5 minutes after the men. Down on the ground right now is Dario Linde, who will be able to bring us some insights as to what it's like out there, really in the thick of things on the trails around Davos. Dario, if you're able to hear me, we'd love to hear what's happening down on the ground.
We are here at Water Station 2. It's quite busy here. It's one of the busiest stations we had so far. We had some South African fans. Where are the South African fans in the back? Yes. Can you see that? The buffet is open, I think, but this is just for the riders, you know? Okay, good. Yeah, okay, you can grab a banana if you want or something like that. No, it's quite busy here. We have some Swiss fans up there with the cowbells. Yeah. Can you hear that? It's getting busier and busier along the course. And we're waiting for the top guys here, cheering for them all. Service station is ready. Sind ein paar out, oder? and we are ready out. Racing is on, the party mood is pretty good down here.
Well, it certainly is, and we saw an absolute feast there waiting for the riders. The Swiss Epic, like all of the races in the Epic series, is full-service mountain bike stage race, and at that water point, they look like a absolute treat for the riders. But as a top professional, it's highly unlikely that you would stop and eat and feast your body on that fare that was available to the riders.
Only in emergencies. If you didn't bring enough gels or the stage took longer than you predicted, then we stop. But unfortunately, I think we should make a rule that everybody can stop for 10 minutes and actually enjoy some good food and have a nice stop. But no, we have the bottles there, and we don't need to stop most of them.
Great to see the race bringing nations together. We saw the South Africans at the second order point, and also traditional Swiss welcome. That's one of the great parts of this race, is you really get to witness the true icons of Switzerland, and most notably you get to feel them, especially the Swiss Alps, as the riders climbing over 10,000 meters throughout the 5 days, a concentrated week of climbing. Take a look at the graphic after 1¼ hours of racing, with 31 kilometers to go. The leading group, Brabensteiner in south, Gorea and Fokoli, De Cosmo and Dorigoni, and notably the yellow jerseys very much in charge of this race. Barendun and Bieli are doing those Chibita yellow leaders jerseys proud. And it's a tall order to be riding at the front. To be able to command a race is a different thing altogether. And anyone who's worn a leader jersey, I know that you have certainly, Hans, you're sitting next to me. You know what it's like. It's one thing to ride a race, and it's another thing to lead a race. What's the different mindset between the two?
Protect or attack. If you have the leader jersey, you protect it, and you have to do everything calculated, and you have to follow the race better. You have to ride a little bit less on intuition or on feeling or on what you want to do. You really have to think twice before you make a move. But end of the day, also, what I always used to do, even if I have the leader's jersey or under pressure or last day or people attacking you, I just zoom out a bit and I say it's just a bike race and you have to give everything you have on that day, and then if it's enough to protect your leader jersey, it's good. If not, we try to fight to get it back tomorrow. But yeah, it gives more pressure.
And we'll be hearing from Barendun and Bieli in just a moment. We caught up with them at the start. Team Engadin Lepunt, the leaders of the Swiss Epic, currently going into stage 4.
Just a chat with Fabian Rabenstein. I said that your advantage is a bit gone now, because he knows all the trails as well. He's done the Swiss Epic for 6-7 times. But there's another advantage coming back for you guys. It's the climbing.
Sure, yes, I would say so. And yeah, also we did the Swiss Epic more than 7 times, and I think we know the region quite well. It's not so far from home, especially for Andreen, who stays here for altitude training. I would not say that we have no home advantage now here in Davos. For sure, it's maybe not that big like in the Engadin, but yeah, we know also here the whole track, and should be good.
That's another advantage. You're wearing yellow, that gives you wings.
Yeah, for sure. It's something special, and yeah, it's really nice to wear yellow. Like, yeah, in cycling, it's the jersey you want. Yeah, if you compete on the road or in marathon stage racing. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race day for sure. There will be fireworks from the other teams. Especially I expect the Scott team to be really strong today. So yeah, we need to try to follow their attacks.
They're in good shape. They just won the Andorra Epic, and they're coming back now to the Swiss Epic. Hard 2 days, but now attack mode. Do you keep that always in mind and focus just on this Scott team, or do you always count, or can you even?
I think we just have to focus on ourselves because yeah, we have a good advantage. We know what we're able to. We also know what the other teams are able to, and yeah, we will give all to defend this jersey.
Okay, so this will be broadcasted a bit later, so nobody can watch it before the race. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. The sun came back, so yeah, looking forward to an exciting race day.
It's going to be exciting. Look, the sun is coming back. Yesterday you wore 7 layers at the finish line. How many today?
I hope not that much.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Great to hear from Andrian Bieli from Team Engadin Lepunt. Fadri Barendon is partner, and both are holding the status of epic legends. They've raced at least 2 of the Epic Series races, and of course the pinnacle of the Epic Series, the Absa Cape Epic. Bieli and Barendon very much in charge of that all-important leaders jersey. Hans, your team, how are they going this week?
Yeah, they have a smooth bottle swap there. That went quite fast. Good to see. I think they are doing fine. They are the terrain, like I said, it's a race. If you don't prepare in altitude, you just miss 2-3% to really fight for the win. And I think the boys would agree now if they see where they stand, and with all due respect, of course, but they choose not to build the season like this to go on altitude for this race, and then you must be happy where they stand, I guess. Also, one thing I see is that Team Honeycomb today, they are, I think, losing their 3rd place in the overall. They are a bit farther behind. Also, it was interesting to see the feed zone before. The leader jerseys look quite relaxed. They took their time to take the bottle to make sure they have their nutrition, where other teams were just a bit more stressed and under pressure. It's also a sign that if you have the confidence just to stop, take your bottle, put your feet out of the pedal, look for your partner, and don't directly sprint to close the gap. For me, they look very, very in control today.
No doubt that stress, it's well documented, stress plays a major role in life, and I'm sure that would translate to mountain bike stage racing, where if a little bit under the pump, a little bit under pressure, and that can start mounting up with the stress that goes with that. Any South African fans will be a little bit disappointed to see Honeycomb 226s out of the mix. In the very front of the race, Mark Pritson and Felix Dilly still in the mix. And looking at that service station time check at Unterlaret at 25 kilometers into the racing. The leading teams out there, the 4 lead teams currently: Scott Racing, Topata Kenda FSA 1, that's Ravensteiner in South, Engadin Lepunt, the Chivita leader jerseys, and Topata Kenda FSA 2. So 2 Topata teams in the mix there. De Cosmo and Dorigoni riding in support, you could say, of Ravensteiner in South. Tactical advantage for sure for the Italians, and with 1 Swiss rider in that outfit, Casey South. Climatiza Orbia, we saw images of David Valera and Jose Diaz. They are 43 seconds back, but over 2 minutes back, 2 minutes and 16. We saw Buff BH come in with the Honeycomb 226s and Climatiza Orbia 2. The top 8 teams in the mix right now for the stage. 2 minutes 31, a long time gap to make up for the likes of Porro and Stutzman, riding with Pritson, Steely, and Alleman and Stozek. So it looks like the day could very well belong to the top 4 teams that are right now riding in the front. Perhaps Scott Racing having their daring attack yesterday. They spent 20 kilometers in the front. Tactically, De Cosmo and Doragoni were not obliged to cooperate with them. In fact, they were obliged to stay behind them because spot on overall general classification was under threat from the pairing of Gorea and Fakoli. Scott Racing are absolutely on form. We saw them at the Andorra Epic. Fantastic performance from them. But we'll be hearing from Dario in just a moment, who spoke to the riders. Just having a quick look at the graphic there. 28 kilometers to go.
Station 2, the leaders just went through. Yeah, the leaders just went through. It was nice to see the Swiss team, Barandun and Bailey, are still in contact with the front group. They lost a bit of time because they went for a bottle over there, and then the gap opened. So it's always these 50 meters. They have to close it all the time, and then all the other teams are in attacking mode. So they always have to close these short gaps, and that's really hard for them during the whole race. We saw Lorenzo Samparisi. He's pulled on some cowboy at the moment on course. His brother just left the race, and rest of it, Mark Fritzen. He looked pretty strong. So his partner Felix Stelli sent me a voice message yesterday and said, hey, it's unbelievable how strong this guy is. In his mind, he's one of the strongest in the field. Yeah, but now at the moment they're struggling a little bit, losing contact with the leaders. But now it's only a small way up, and then the last few kilometers, they're not that hard anymore. But for sure, they will make it very hard at the top of this Swiss Epic. We're still happy here, having some crowd around. Hey, for who are you cheering for?
All South Africans and MPLX.
Okay, cool. But you're happy with the Swiss Epic till now?
We love it. It's great. We're having a joy.
Okay, that's great. Always good to see that everybody's happy. Lekker. Oh, I can learn South African at the Swiss Epic. That's a good thing. Thank you very much. Enjoy it up here. See you later, and see you soon.
Quick translation from for our non-South African viewers. Joel means having a good time, and lekker means great. So all positive vibes out there on the course as we watch the finest mountain bike stage races in the world. And in the pound seats, the yellow jersey wearers, Team Engadin Lepunt, Fadri Barandun and Andrien Bieli. Currently with the elite men right now, and that front group is looking to be cooperating. Scott Racing, Topata Kent FSA 1 and 2, and the Chivita leader jerseys, Fadri Barandun and Andrien Bieli. Talking of the finest mountain bikers in the world, the Swiss rider that is often referred to as the greatest of all time, 10-time world champion Nino Schurter himself has won the Swiss Epic, and he is retired from the top level of the sport and certainly from the cross-country scene, but he is still highly active, and we'll be hearing just what he's up to in just a moment. And well, the viewers on RTR will be seeing what Nino Schurter is up to. For those streaming on YouTube live with Stefan Sam on the Bulls Media e-bike, we're with very close up with Fadri Barandun, Andrien Bieli's partner, wearing the Chivita leader jerseys, Engadin Lepunt, on a fantastic day out. able to admirably defend those leader jerseys. Climatiza Orbia, David Villero at the time check at 25-kilometer mark, riding with his partner, the Portuguese champion, 43 seconds back. A further 2 minutes back. In fact, at 2 minutes 16 back from the leaders, the teams that are leading the race. Buff BH riding with Honeycomb 226s. We have news out on the course that the Samparisi brothers are effectively out of the race. One of the Samparisi brothers is continuing just to still soak it up, get some experience and enjoy the beautiful alpine scenery. But the team is officially out of the race.
We have live action. The Team Scott is on the attack. They opened a small gap. And then see that Fabri is suffering in the back. They have one of the Torpedo teams. I don't know if it's Guillaume or if it's the other one. But yeah, I think Fabian and Cassie, they are also a bit suffering. Fabri is suffering. And now the second Torpedo riders try to breach the gap to the front. And then we have the same two teams in the front as we had yesterday, I guess.
Down on the ground at the service station, Dario is there currently, and he'll be able to give us just a sense of the atmosphere. Dario, over to you.
Okay, ja, was ist passiert?
Batterie ist defekt.
Was, die Batterie verloren?
Defekt. Nein, ist glaube keine Batterie mehr oder kaputt.
Alright, what a shame. Nicht mehr beschalten. Okay, so, there's another technical issue we haven't heard so far. So the battery was, something wrong with the battery of the gear shifting. So they had to change from the battery from the saddle post, the dropper post, to the shifting. Wow. Yeah, that's a strange thing here. Can happen, humidity, dirt, whatever. So back to you guys.
Yeah, many things can happen there. A lot of water, maybe they hit a rock with the battery, and then luckily with the SRAM system you can just swap the batteries from your seat post. And probably also had a spare battery in the tech zone, so let's hope they can continue their way.
That's what it's all about, is the ability to improvise. The ability to improvise out on the trails is a really important thing, obviously. With 335 kilometers out on the route, anything can happen, and it's about the ability to manage that, manage those situations. And the riders with the coolest heads are the ones that are most successful. Right now with the Bulls Media e-bike, Stefan Sam. Stefan, please tell us what's happening right out there. We just saw some action, the attack from the Scott Racing team. Over to you, Stefan.
Yes, so if we come around that corner now, we might see the Team Scott Racing and Torpedo Kenda up front. They launched an attack on this climb just at the bottom, and it looked like Fadri had a little bit of a weak moment hanging off the back of the group. But now they are working together with Casey and Fabian. Well, working together, obviously. Casey and Fabian will not try to get back the front group because they have their own team there. Yeah, but the race has officially restarted again.
Well, they've passed through the section called the Flüela Trail, and now they have one more peak to go before they tackle the Bulgan Trail. Some complexities with the tactics right now, and Hans Becking sitting next to me right now. He'll give us some insights as to what would go through the minds of the riders in the yellow jerseys, for instance. And of course, the attack out front that we're looking at right now, Scott Racing are on a charging day. Carbon copy, though, of yesterday. The on-former Scott Racing team are now being tracked and followed by Torpedo 2 team. Torpedo FSA Kenda team are in hot pursuit. In fact, the catch has been made on the trails. But quick look at the left-hand side, chasing after them. Casey South on the front. Interesting that the Torpedo team, the Torpedo Kenda FSA team would be chasing with a team up the road.
Yeah, it looked like it's every man for himself a little bit in this situation, but yeah, I think Casey has to be a bit careful what he's doing, but it looks like that Fabio was a bit suffering in the climb. But also maybe they know the trail that's coming. They have so much confidence that they can close the gap. But it's a bit, yeah, it's going to be interesting racing from now on.
Interesting for the viewers and a fever pitch for the riders right now. Yellow jersey wearers will be fighting for their lives and just playing it safe on the downhill. They know this section really well, but at the same time they know that there's a sense of urgency needing to close that gap with the hard-charging Scott racing team and the Tapada Kenda FSA team, the second team up the road. And all of the top 5 teams or 6 teams are within 5 minutes of each other. So there's definitely no comfortable buffer, you could say, for the riders just to sit back and relax. 3 minutes and 10 seconds is the advantage that the yellow jersey wearers have over the Kenda FSA, the Tapada Kenda FSA team. And just getting pictures right now from Stefan Sam. We are with the chasing group, the second group out on the roads right now.
Looks like Casey is pushing hard to close the gap, even gap a little bit the leader jerseys.
Well, the battle, of course, is not just between the yellow jerseys and the other teams. There is a battle for the second and third spot on overall podium. Casey South keen not to move, not to relinquish that second spot on overall GC. We heard from them at the start. Dario had a word with the top pros, the top elite men. So we'll take a look back at what was said before the stage on stage 5 in Davos.
Buongiorno, Jakob.
Fourth stage.
Ciao. Hey, you're only, I think, 4:08 away from yellow now. So you're going for the yellow jersey, or is it still a tactical game with your teammates?
Well, I think we will always race as a team. And today, yeah, I hope for good legs. And we start immediately on a hard climb, long climb. And so from the beginning, we will see who has the good legs.
Yeah, you're both cyclocross champions.
No.
You're not. Okay. He never raced cyclocross, but you are a cyclocross champion. Yeah. This explosiveness in these climbs, that's a good thing for you, no?
Yeah, but I think more the sensibility on the bike when it's mud, to let the bike go, not control too much. And yeah, let the tire do her job.
Okay, good. So we go straight over to Joel. Now I know that you're not racing cyclocross. You're a proper mountain biker. You're back in mountain bike heaven here in Davos. Good fun to race the high mountains again?
Yeah, sure. Hope that I feel well today. Yes, it was good.
Yeah.
Today I hope that will be a good day for us. It will be hard. I think that's a crucial moment for the Swiss Epic, so I hope that we will be ready.
Yeah, you've been at the top yesterday, so in the front group from the beginning on, so you must feel really well now.
I hope. Sure. I will fight.
You will fight for everything. Thank you very much. So we're going straight over to...
It's quite interesting now, the racing. I think they see them up the road, but the leader jerseys, they didn't look that they're in a rush to help the Topado team, Cassie South and Fabian Rabeseiner, to close the gap. That's maybe a sign that they don't have the legs or that they have another plan. But it's quite risky to, as a leader jersey, to give other riders the confidence to open up the gap. If they could take like 1.5, 2 minutes today, then they smell blood and then they can actually go for it tomorrow. So it would be good for them to close the gap and or keep them at least under control a bit and see. But I think it's the good old physical conditions that doesn't allow it at the moment. And yeah, it would be interesting also to see if the Torpedo team in the front now, if they would help Scott or that they do the same as yesterday. As Casey is riding in the front, for sure they will not help the Scott team, because I think the plan of Torpedo looks like to close the gap and stay together.
And yesterday we saw in the racing some frustration from the Scott Racing team, not getting any help at all for those 20 kilometers they were in the front. They led the way for 20 kilometers, and of course that's tactics, that's racing, that's what it's all about, and it's about the advantage of having a second team in the race. And we saw at the finish the Tapada Kenda FSA team had almost a free ride. De Cosmo and Doragoni, just all they had to do is just push on the pedals, get into good position for that sprint, and were able to take the stage. Frustrating for the Scott Racing team, but they did gain time on the overall general classification. Crossing to the elite women, no doubt the firepower of Weinbier and Peretti very much in charge of this race. Sosna, Pinelli and Marquette have distanced Kortekas and Bolin, and most significantly on overall general classification, the third spot is under threat. Giannis and Amos are ailing today, with Kortekas and Bolin doing all they can to stay in touch with Sosna, Pinelli, Marquette as they head to that 25-kilometer mark where they'll have a service station at Unterlaret. Currently with the best team of the week and of course on the day. 2 minutes and 25 advantage over Sosna, Pinelli and Marquette. The gap hasn't opened up like we've seen in previous days. Perhaps Weinbier and Peretti happy to maintain an advantage and ride steadily to the finish. But that's not taking anything away from Sosna, Pinelli and Marquette. They have distanced their rivals, Kortekas and Bolin. They have over a minute gap on Kortekas and Bolin, the Marcy ISB Sport team. Giannis and Amos are losing time. They've lost over 4 minutes to the team of Kortekas and Bolin. Dario is on the ground. Dario Linde live on the ground, and we'll be crossing over to him in just a moment.
Yeah, still here, still waiting for the top women, Anna and Claudia. They're on course, only a few minutes away, and they're dropping in. Yes, here we go. Can you see orange? Yes, orange are the leaders. It's Anna and Claudia. They both look pretty good at the moment. They both go through. Yeah. Just a small hurt. Anna, alles gut?
Ja, alles gut.
Alles gut, sagt sie. All good. She's in perfect shape. She's one of the, yeah, she's probably the strongest in the field. Grabbing the bottles for Claudia. Closing the gap again and comes back.
Well done to Dario for, although albeit a very short interview with the leaders, to be able to get an interview with the riders midway through the action. Impressive. Well done, Dario. Speaking to Anna Weinbier, you just heard Anna Weinbier saying that everything is going well. Just a bit of a chat about the team dynamics. It seems that Anna Weinbier arguably is the stronger member of that team, the stronger rider. And that is evidenced by the fact that she took Claudia Peretti's bottle, and she was the one that stopped at the service station, swapped the bottle for her partner, letting Claudia Peretti continue. So the most time-efficient way of doing things, of course. And that's all part of this two-person team format that is characterized by the Epic Series in mountain bike stage racing. It's about that team dynamic and the communication. With the elite women, the chasing team, we're with the Tapada Kenda FSA women team. Katarzyna Sosna Pinelli, Georgia Marquette. Overall, they are 25 minutes and 33 seconds down, but 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We're just getting the time check now behind the pairing of Weinbier and Peretti. The Lithuanian and the Italian rider are putting out a good performance today. And he is Dario Linde is awaiting the Tapada Kenda FSA women at the water point.
Same procedure as before. We're waiting. The fans are waiting. When are they coming? Come on! Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Georgia in the lead, dropping the bottle right in the back. It's Katarzyna. It's over there, Georgia. It's over there. Yeah, they're going to their own bottles. So the pro teams all having their own bottles. Nice teamwork together. Let's go, Georgia. Let's go, Katarzyna. Go, 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 go. Ow.
Just looking at that time check, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Sosna Penele and Marquette are on a great day out, and we await the team of Marcy ISP Sport, who are likely to be the next team to arrive at that service station. Unclaret at the 25-kilometer mark, and the clock is still ticking as we expect to see Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Boland arrive shortly. Get a glimpse of the terrain that the riders will cover today. Some forest roads as they climb the next obstacle of the day out of the 25, out of the service station, as they are on the Wolfgang climb right now before they'll be tackling the Drusetscha Trail and then the beautiful Flüela Trail. Dario Linde at this water point is awaiting the third team on the stage, Marcy ISP Sport.
Yeah, it's Tessa and Amanda. They just went through directly. They didn't even stop at the water station, so they should be in good shape.
It's an idea of just how urgent these riders are, just the urgency of these riders. They know that if they can keep the pressure on, Kortekas and Boland look to inherit that third spot on overall. Sportograph.com are some distance back, over 4 minutes back. And they didn't have much more than 2 minutes 30 advantage going into today's stage on overall general classification. Sos Patanelli are more or less comfortable in their position, not only on the stage, but on overall general classification for a podium spot in Davos, that coveted podium spot. Still second out on the course. A great day out for the Lithuanian and the Italian.
Yeah, and there's still quite a while before they reach the finish line. It's still 2 big climbs, so I think also the gap also to the first one, it's not huge. Still a lot of things possible, and you see also here in the screen that I think Anna is clearly the stronger rider, and Claudia is hanging on for dear life. But also at some days she's already been the nail for 3 days, and maybe at some days she's gonna pay the bill for that. And also then the difference between the second and third team, it's still all to play for.
It's getting an idea of where we are in the men, the elite men, and both also, in fact, in the elite women. Currently with the Bulls Media e-bike, Stefan Sam. We cross over to Stefan in a moment to tell us what is happening down in the racing right now. Over to you, Stefan. We're just struggling to get an audio connection with Stefan, but we're still able to bring us the pictures and to show us just what's happening tactically out on the road right now. This is the chase group, Rabensteiner and South, and Barendon and Beerley, with the pairing of Scott Racing Team out front. We'll be looking carefully at the timing boards to see where they are at the time checks. But the chasing team, not a huge amount of urgency from the yellow jerseys, whether it's the fact that they're not able to chase or that KC South is keen on preserving that second spot on overall. They know they have a team up the road, but like Hans, you said, it's every man for themselves at the moment, as we are 20 kilometers to go on the stage.
It's a bit of a weird situation that KC is still pulling, but probably they have their plan. They're going up to the Flüela Pass now, where we came down from the transfer yesterday. Soon they climb like, I think, 2-3 kilometers more, and then they turn sharp right, and they can see exactly where the other riders are, because you see them coming down on this beautiful natural very technical trail. And maybe Fabian and Annie, they know the trail, so but for me it's a bit of a weird situation. If I would be Casey, I would just sit in and then let the leaders work, but also it looks like they're still in control for the first position. The time gaps doesn't look that they open up really a huge gap, but we will see the live timing soon. But yeah, now they go right and they go into this trail, so maybe the leader jersey will take the first position now to try to close the gap.
Well, we did have a time check at the 29.5 kilometer mark, almost 30 Ks into the racing, with Scott Racing's Goria and Fakoli riding together with Topata Kent FSA 2's De Cosmo and Dorigoni, two teams clearly on top form at the moment. Engadin Lepunt riding together with Topata Kent FSA 1, that's Rabensteiner and South. We're around about 17 seconds back right now, with Climatiza Orbia's David Villero 55 seconds back.
There is a small biker hike here. I think it's too steep to ride, but maybe they surprise me. And you could see the leaders there in front, so they still see how big the gap is. So they are in control. It looks good, but still I think the real race will explode. The real gaps will open up on the last climb. It's a very steady climb, but very physical, very hard. And then the last downhill, it's quite flowy. So I don't think in the downhill the gaps will open up, but in the climb for sure it's close to the finish, so everybody will go all out, and we will see how it looks after today.
We saw Stefan Sam just giving the photographer a clean shot of the riders, some beautiful photography. And if you're looking to follow this race, one of the great, obviously you're on YouTube right now if you're following on live stream. Also make sure you follow the Swiss Epic on Instagram. Quick look at that 29.5 kilometer time check. Looks like the yellow jersey are defending that lead admirably, but not without the help of Casey South. It flashed up in just momentarily that time check, just to go down that list. 3 minutes back. Buff BH are riding quite close to the Honeycomb 226s, and the South African and the Swiss pairing look like they're moving down the overall general classification. And Scott Racing, Topata Kent FSA, and Engadin Lepunt, and of course the first Topata Kent FSA team, David Rabensteiner, all to play for those that spot on overall general classification. On the podium, the coveted spots. The yellow jerseys look more or less in charge of the race. They look fairly stress-free, in fact, with Scott Racing and Topata Kent FSA 2 team very much in control. Not much more than 20 seconds advantage.
Or maybe it's an Italian thing that the Italians, they want all have the states win, and they think if we have two teams up in the front, we have a bigger chance to go for the states win, and even like okay with not winning the overall. But that's hard to imagine.
Certainly we see a good Italian contingent at the race. We've seen many flags on the results sheet, but also we have both Italian champions. We have the Italian champion in the women and in the men. Also looking down the leaderboard is the Pump for Peace team. So Hans, that's another project of yours. How are the guys doing from Pump for Peace?
Pump for Peace is from Mariana. she's working with that.
You were following them on the feed.
Yeah,
you're working with the Amani project.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Two young, no worries. We have two young riders from Kenya here. If you put their age together, it's exactly my age. One is 21 and one is 19 years old. And I think they will suffer a bit today on these technical trails. As Stanley he's quite new to all this heavy alpine single trails, technical hiking, enduro style of racing. But they are doing really well. They're soaking up the whole experience, and they're both from Kenya. They live in Eton, which is an altitude which helps them probably here on the climbs. I see always in the beginning, if we start uphill, they can hold the place quite well, and they struggle a bit more in the downhill. But yeah, it's good to open up the horizon for the boys to play with the biggest riders in the world around on this beautiful scenery. And yeah, I'm happy to help them out and be here with them, and again being in this race bubble, having a good time, sitting here with you, watching the race action from close by. It's been good.
Really getting the most valuable experience of all, racing with the finest in the world. Nothing to beat it. There's nothing that can replace that racing experience. And great for the Amani project to have access to the insights of you, Hans. They must really be having a good time this year.
Yeah, we also tried to. I remember when I was half my age that I am now. I always tend to take very serious and focus on training numbers and all this kind of stuff. But you have to love what you do, and I also take that part very serious. That we have a very good time. We prepare our stuff directly after the finish line, so we're ready for tomorrow, and then also we can just relax the mind, having fun, having a pillow fight, doing the normal things that the normal people do. So I think it's a good mix, and again, for them, the most valuable thing is to race against Valero, to be here at the start line, see how they do things. It's very easy to explain everything, but at the end of the day, you need to make your own mistakes and experience everything to understand it and to learn from it. And
we're looking at pictures from both the men and the elite women racing, followed by the Bulls Media e-bike on the right-hand side, and seeing pictures from the bike of Thomas Ditch, Katarzyna Sosna-Penele, and Georgia Marquette. We heard from them earlier down on the line in Davos before the start, where Dario had a chat to them just to get some insights as to where they were in the race and just where their minds were at going into the fourth stage, the loop around Davos.
Back in Davos. So, do you still have this yellow jersey in mind, or do you race your own race?
To take the yellow jersey is very difficult. Claudia and Anna are very strong, but also to maintain the second place, it will be good. But we don't start we start to try to win in every race, and let's see what's happened.
That's why you're competing. You always want to win, or always. Katarzyna, Georgia just said you always start to win.
Yes, for sure, because it's. I hope all athletes start to win, and us also start to win. But in the race, it's always different, and you push and you see you good legs today or not good. Depends also the physique, not only the mind.
Your legs are good today, and then you're going for a stage win, or you feel a bit tired?
I feel a bit tired, but I'm a pro.
Yeah, every day is another day.
Yeah. Also, the other Magari girl also tired, no? Not only I'm.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Great to get the insights of the top riders in the elite women category. Just a glimpse of where they are right now on the trails, heading up the Wolfgang climb. And we're with the Bulls Media e-bike, Thomas Ditch. Thomas, over to you to tell us how the racing is going right now. We're getting good pictures from the Bulls Media e-bike, Thomas Ditch, but we're unable to connect with him. And from an audio point of view, the pictures, of course, tell 1,000 words. We can see the pressure that Giorgio Marquette is putting down. Sosna Penele, the more powerful rider, is able to follow on the Wolfgang Trail. Quick glimpse of where we are in the elite women. It's clear that Weinbier and Peretti are again in charge of the race, in charge of the week at Swiss Epic in 2026. But Tessa Kortekas and Bolin, although they trail Sosna Penele and Marquette, their eyes are on the 3rd spot on overall GC. Sportograph.com's Giannis and Amis are losing time today. And if we look at the what we're calling the live general classification, that would be where the race stands right now on general classification if it were to stop right now. And in the women, the team of Marcia ISB Sport, Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin have effectively and virtually overtaken Sportograph.com and already have a 2-minute advantage on overall general classification. So bad news for the German pairing. Good news for Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin. Amanda Bolin, a complete novice to Epic Series races. Although she is the national champion, she certainly knows her way around a mountain bike marathon. But still, mountain bike stage racing is another thing altogether. And a great performance from the Swede.
It's a funny thing Katarzyna told her. She said, even if the legs are hurting, I am pro.
That's what it's all about.
That basically means that you are made and paid for suffer, and you cannot listen to your legs, which is actually true. That's the job they have.
Perfectly true.
It's still Casey following the chase. I saw in the 3rd feed zone they open up the gap to around 30 seconds, which is a bit bigger than the leader jerseys would like, because then you start to be at the point that you're out of sight. You start to be a bit more nervous. So. Like I said, also the last climb, it's really a hard one, so looks like damage control for the leaders jersey today.
It certainly does. And Scott Racing, Stefano Goria and Davide Foccoli are leading the stage right now. They were being tracked and marked by Tupada Kenda FSA 2 team, that's De Cosmo and Doragoni. But currently out at the time check at Valgi, the 37-kilometer mark, it looks like there is a gap. A 15-second gap has opened up. Scott Racing in the lead. Tupada Kenda FSA 2nd spot. And 43 seconds back, Engadin Lepunt, Tupada Kenda FSA 1 ride together. 1 minute and 28 seconds. David Valero and Jose Diaz riding what could say in no man's land, unable to close that gap to effectively the chasing group and the yellow jersey group. And Buff BH are riding in a group with the Honeycomb 226s. 226s falling down the leaderboard on virtual general classification. Mark Pritson and Felix Stelly will look to preserve as much as they can of the day, living to fight another day. The grand finale tomorrow as we ride the Bulls Media e-bike. Stefan Sam riding behind Fabian Rabensteiner.
Yeah, a nice shot that we see all the riders together. It looks like the Tarpado team is suffering to follow it, not able to hold up with the Scott Racing team. So that's why maybe Casey was pushing that he saw that the Scott team was up front and that they need some assistance to try to keep them under control. So it's going to be a very interesting final, and it's close racing with only 14 kilometers to go.
So tactically, what would you do right now, Hans, if you were the team Tupada Kenda FSA 2, De Cosmo and Doragoni? You've let the gap go. There's 15 seconds, almost 20 seconds now to the front of the race. Would you wait for your team? Would you wait for Casey and Fabian, or would you continue to push?
Yeah, it's a bit of a sensitive situation now, I think. I think they won't be so happy that they see Casey coming, but also they have to be honest that they could not follow the first team at this moment. So I think they have to work together and try to keep Scott under control for the second place. I don't think they should be too worried about the leaders as they are there and they cannot really drop them. So then it's also another situation. it's a bit confusing for me. What I would do is just, if I was to be Scott, I would just crack on, just continue putting everybody under pressure and try to win the stage or open up the gap. The leaders at the moment are actually playing it smart, letting Torpedo do the work. Fabian is being Fabian. He's just letting the race go and using all his experience and try to be super efficient. Won't surprise me that they would win the stage today. Yeah, for Torpedo, not a clear answer from my side. I need to get my head around it.
But I think in the thick of things, when you're at the limit, it's going to be even more challenging. It's easy to sit here and be armchair critics or armchair analysts. But
exactly.
When you're out there in the racing, it's often by instinct is the best way to handle things. But Scott Racing seem to be on unbelievable form at the moment. Perhaps the most on form team on the day. Goria and Fakoli are charging ahead. They have opened up that gap to Tapata Kenda FSA and Engadin Lapointe. Happy to let Casey South set the pace. We're tracking with the Bulls Media e-bike Stefan Sam, who will now be giving us a blow-by-blow report when he gets to the finish line. Unfortunately, we have no audio connection with him currently, but he'll be able to tell us exactly what happened down on the ground with this team. Now, Scott Racing, Goria and Fakoli felt a little bit aggrieved after yesterday's, how yesterday played out. Aggrieved, but also philosophical. They understand that racing is racing. They understand that their Italian compatriots were under more or less, not necessarily team orders, but team tactics would dictate that they were not able to help them, as Scott Racing spent almost 20 kilometers on the front. Tapata Kenda FSA were able to pip them in the sprint, obviously with slightly fresher legs being able to follow. But today the Scott Racing team are leaving absolutely nothing to chance. They know they need to finish the stage solo for a good chance at a stage victory.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Neil. Also there when you're saying that it's easy for us to sit here and just see what's happening. Maybe there's a plan made this morning, or maybe they sent the team up the road and they have a mechanical, or somebody is sick and they just try to do everything and then knows he's gonna explode. Or it's always a fun thing that everybody end of the day has their own story and their own things happen, and there are a lot of different perspectives on the race day. So it would be good to hear from the riders the finish line exactly what happened.
Currently with the chasing group, if you've just joined us, Team Engadin Lapointe, the yellow jersey wearers, are riding together with Tapata Kenda FSA 1, Rabensteiner and Casey South, and they are in pursuit of the Scott Racing team, the informed team of the day. And of course yesterday we saw them in the very front of affairs. Goria and Fakoli lead the race. Tapata Kenda FSA are somewhere between the Scott Racing team and the Engadin Lapointe and Tapata Kenda FSA 1 team. The last time check, we saw they were 15 seconds off the pace, and a further 43 seconds back were that chase group. In fact, this chase group that you see right now, as they are on the Ischalp climb, very close to the finish. This is the final climb before the descent into the town of Davos, the highest town in Europe. In fact, and altitude is the name of the game, and acclimatizing to the altitude for the riders, from the top professionals, the elite riders, all the way through to the amateurs. They'll be feeling the effects of where we are in the iconic Swiss Alps. The 2025 winners, Tapata Kenda FSA team. They came into the race as race favorites, and they still have all to play for, with just over 3 minutes over their disadvantage over the yellow jerseys. We heard from them down in the start in Davos earlier today.
Guten Morgen, Casey. Gut erholt von dem Kälteschock von gestern?
Ja, sicher, ja. Sind früh fertig gewesen, von dem her haben wir können relativ lang daheim sein und uns dementsprechend erholen.
And now today is another day. Last 2 days, you know this terrain very well. You're working together as a team. still a big advantage because compared to the leaders like Andrin and Fadri.
Yeah, I mean, we have our second team, which is basically always there for us. And it's for sure an advantage, but yeah, I mean, Andrin and Fadri have good legs. And yeah, if they don't have a flat or like don't completely explode, it will be difficult. But yeah, as I said, we have 2 days to go, so let's see.
Your second team was really fast yesterday.
Yeah, they went up the track for us, and they were just sitting behind Scott all of the time. And yeah, it's cool how we can play a bit with 2 teams. So no, it's nice to have the boys here as well.
Thank you very much, Casey. Guten Morgen, Fabian. Hola. Fabian, you know how to win the Swiss Epic. So it's not done till it's done. It's just 2 days to go. 2 important days, I guess. High mountains, long climbs.
Yeah, I mean, the Swiss Epic is finished at the finish line tomorrow, because here can happen everything. We have long climbs, but also sharp downhills with a lot of rocks, roots and everything. So have to be careful every moment.
So the big advantage of the local guys from the Engadin is some kind of gun now, because you've been here before, you probably know all the trails as well, so it's even now.
Yeah, I mean, I done 5, 6, 7 times now the Swiss Epic for this. I know these trails perfectly, I mean, and yeah, will be tough racing. Also the guys from Engadin, they know the trails well. So yeah, let's see.
How you feeling? Feeling the tiredness a bit dropping in, or?
No, this morning I feel good, but yeah, the race is always different. You have to see after maybe 10 minutes how the legs feels.
If it starts to burn, you know it's gonna be a burning day.
Yeah, for sure. But we are all in the same boat, so for everyone the same.
Oh, good, it's not a sinking boat, it's a...
Hopefully not.
Great insights down on the ground before the stage, and now, of course, with the benefit of 2020 hindsight, we can say that there was a slight prediction there and understanding just what could actually happen out there, and there has been a dramatic shift in the racing currently right now. We saw the Topada Kenda FSA team up front, the second team up front, and there is the catch. So the chasing group have made contact with the team of Topada Kenda FSA 2. But one other super significant thing that we did see in the picture was Fabian Rabensteiner. We saw Casey South on the front driving the pace with Ingrid and Lapunt happy to follow. But Fabian Rabensteiner has dropped off the pace. He's obliged by the rules of the race. Casey South has dropped back to help his partner. Now, what is the next move for the Topada Kenda FSA team? The second team will... Tactics would say that they would need to drop back and help their ailing teammates, or do they just continue and aim for the stage? That's the question.
They probably won't wait, as they wheeled in by them with the leader's jersey in their wheel. So it looks like that. Yeah, that's the problem with Fabian. He is always looking so smooth, and you never see when he's suffering. So you don't know if he's on a good day or not. But it looks like he struggled a bit in this quite mean climb. So Fabi saw that, and Fadi is directly going to the front. Fabian, the leaders, they are directly going to the front, pushing their tempo. It also looks like Yul is suffering. He got a small push there. So the leader jersey, they played their hand, they played the cards well, and they now still in control, closing maybe even up to the leaders, and bringing themselves in a very good position to the start line for the last stage tomorrow.
And now the obligation falls on the yellow jerseys to do the chasing. And knowing that Casey South has to drop back for Fabian Rabensteiner, but not only that, the yellow jerseys have another, not just the ability to be set free to chase the Scott Racing team out front, they also have an opportunity to put time into their rivals, Fabian Rabensteiner and Casey South.
Yeah, it happens a bit what I predicted, that the last climb will be every man for himself and the real gaps will open up. And still Scott, I don't know how far they are up on the road, but they are still putting the pressure on the leader jersey, which is the best thing they can do.
The best we have is the time check at the 37-kilometer mark with Scott Racing. About a 43-second advantage on the stage over Engadin Lepunt in that chase group. But at that point in the race, Topata Kenda FSA were riding with Barendun and Bieli. Of course, everything has shifted on its axis right now as the yellow jerseys are now chasing hard with Scott Racing 2 up ahead. That final peak that the riders will have their eye on before the race tackles the Bulgan Trail. With on the picture on the right, we are able to track the leading elite women as they enjoy over a 2.5-minute advantage on the stage over their rivals.
Also good to see that the sun came out, that they will really enjoy that. And you see Anna is pushing in the front. He's always setting the pace, checking in on Claudia if she's okay, if she needs something.
Some beautiful pristine scenery and smooth roads on the right, of direct contrast to on the left. The fever pitch racing through the forests on the gravel roads. Not the terrain doesn't look too tricky, but of course attention should be on the trail surface just to avoid any of those sharp rocks. Sometimes punctures can come at the most innocuous moments. You can ride through some of the most technical trails of the entire race and have absolutely no issue. And sometimes just a innocuous looking gravel road can cause the worst damage.
Sometimes something stays in your tire that stay there for a while, but then actually when you have a hard surface, it starts to shake out and it comes loose. So it can happen, but we're not gonna speak about that. We have fair racing going on today, I hope.
We'll try and avoid the commentator's curse as much as possible as we track the elite women. Wynbim Peretti, 2 minutes 10 advantage over Sosna Pinelli. This is not the advantage that we've seen in the past. We've seen them take over 10 minutes out of their rivals. Perhaps just ready to ride a nice steady pace, as we are currently tracking Marcy ISB Sport as on overall general classification on live GC. Kortekas and Bolin have overtaken Giannis and Amos, looking for that third spot on overall general classification.
And I see also that the second women team, they actually closed some time. They were 2:35 behind in the second feed zone. So they're actually closing 25 seconds. So who knows, we're up for the good final.
Good final on what you could say would be a classic alpine mountain biking stage, as we are able to look at the tracking graphics. Wynbim Peretti out front, Sosna Pinelli Marquette following almost equidistant Kortekas and Bolin. Giannis and Amos almost off the picture, and perhaps an omen that they're out of the picture for overall general classification and their hopes of a podium spot after the grand finale here in Davos.
Today is a beautiful stage. I'm really looking forward to get changed and get on the trails there, because we have the Flüela Pass where they're going up now. It's just quite smooth rolling climb. Then the first climb was brutal, the super technical first downhill. And then the last part is a bit faster, and then a super nice bike park style downhill. So this stage here around beautiful Davos, it has actually everything that people all over the world coming for.
We're still hoping to catch audio connection with Thomas Ditch. We're following on board with the Bulls Media e-bike, Thomas Ditch, the pilot. Thomas, over to you to tell us how the racing is unfolding right now.
Yeah, the Marcy team is now pushing. I mean, they were pushing from the beginning, but now they know that I hope that they are third on the overall now. And Probably another 2, and they will still keep pushing to get this third position to the overall. Yeah, and we are still in a really nice single try. It's really again a nice stage here on the Pacific. Yeah, and I enjoy.
I think also here in this team dynamic that Amanda is the stronger one at the moment. I met her a few weeks ago in Sweden in her home race for her, and she's a very, very professional athlete, maybe quite new for the Epic Series, but she's very motivated to do more Epic Series, and I think riding for the podium in Swiss Epic directly will give her a boost to come back better, stronger next year. So it's actually good to see more women getting into the Epic Series, and also riding for her with Tessa, who is a very experienced. This kind of races directly give her a good taste of what's possible and how the best racing of the world is going on.
And a confidence boost for sure, going into the next season, having a third spot on the overall general classification at a race like this.
Yeah, that's always good to bring home to Sweden, and as it's also quite flat in the part where she lives, so it's good to see her able adapt to this circumstances. And left side, you see the men dropping in the last flowy bike park trail with a lot of jumps. Very, very enjoyable trail, and I guess also all the amateurs, after more than 2,000 meters of climbing in just over 50 kilometers, it's a big day. For sure, there are not any fast kilometers in there. That will be a very nice ride home. Some jumps, some nice curves. So they will be the only smiles at the finish line, pretty sure.
And soon you're going to be out there on the trails, Hans, but we get a chance to witness them from a rider's point of view, and also at the super fast section of the course. And this is how the world's best do it on the trails. Comfortable in not quite their backyard, because they're not from this particular region. The Engadin LePunt team lead Topada Kende FSA down the trails. We'll need to keep an eye on that time check just to see where Fabian Ravensteiner and Casey South. We saw Fabian Ravensteiner suffering a little bit on that climb, with about 4 or 5 minutes still to go on that climb. The chances are that Fabian Ravensteiner will have lost some time and lost touch, most importantly, lost touch with the chasing group right now. Still out front, the charging Scott Racing team out on their own, with Topada Kende FSA 2 team tracking closely the yellow jerseys.
You see even the e-bike have, with his big suspension and his bigger discs, he has trouble to keep up closely.
And we're looking at the time check at Ischalp at 46 kilometers. So with 9 kilometers to go, Scott Racing 2, that's Stefano Correa and David Focoli, after 2 hours and 20 minutes of racing, have a 45-second advantage over the chasing 2 teams. Engadin LePunt, Topada Kende FSA 2, Barendon and Bieli, De Cosmo and Dorigoni ride together, with Topada Kende FSA 1, Ravensteiner and Casey South 1 minute and 55 seconds down. So they've lost over a minute on that section. It was just where we saw the Italian champion Fabian Ravensteiner drop off the pace. Casey South dropped back to help him. That pivotal point in the race, as the Italian champion Fabian Ravensteiner was suffering on that climb. Lost over a minute, but now all he has to do is keep cool, keep calm, and consolidate and head down the trail in a relatively risk-free style. But still we have Clementiza Orbia, David Valera and Jose Diaz breathing down their necks. No threat on overall general classification, as we get a glimpse we haven't seen them for a while now, Stefano Correa and David Focoli. Scott Racing 2 are charging ahead, and they know what's at stake here on the stage. They get a chance to make good on yesterday's experience, where tactics played a role in their fierce attack. And now they are riding solo towards the finish with less than 10 kilometers to go. Correa and Focoli have every chance at taking a stage win and moving up that overall general classification leaderboard.
How beautiful is this, eh? this Thursday. It's so enjoyable. They're almost at the finish of the downhill, and then still they have around 6 kilometer, bit more flat, some asphalt parts. They still have to put a lot of power down to, it's just a 40 seconds gap more or less. If Torpedo and the leader jerseys are there with 4 behind them working together, maybe they can close a little bit of the gap. That just depends on the legs, but.
And what a dramatic graphic that we have there on the bottom left. Barrington and Beerley clearly holding on to their lead. It's being cut into a little bit by Goria and Fakoli. But because we went into the stage with 6 teams in under 5 minutes, there's already a shift. Ravensteiner and South, who looked pretty much the default second place on overall general classification, currently on the trail right now, virtual GC. They have moved down to 4th. Ravensteiner and South having a tough day. Fabian Ravenstein, the experienced Italian, but still very much in touch with a chance at a podium, but not a great moment for the Italian and the Swiss rider, the defending champions. Oh, it's on board with Stefan Sam. Stefan Sam tracking the riders now. Well, you could say it's an art being able to follow this race and bring us these pictures. Not just the skills required to keep up with some of the world's best and riders who know these trails really well, but also, importantly, not to interfere in any way with the racing, because, of course, as much as Stefan Sam and as much as we'd like to get footage of the Scott Racing team out front, Stefan Sam knows as well as anyone, in fact, knows best, that if he races up ahead, he has an influence on the racing. He'll be reluctant to do so, keeping his distance and out of respect for the racing, making sure that he stays at the back. Also has a perfect view of exactly how the race is unfolding.
And as a rider, I can confirm that he is the man for they are the man for the job. They never in the way. They always know when the racing starts to be tense, when gaps are opening up, and they will never interfere, and they only cross to the team in front of you if you're dropped when there's actually a gap big enough that you don't feel that it's like annoying or anything. It's really the best way to bring the action at home, and yeah, it's always actually a good sign if they're around. And somehow as a rider as well, if you know that the e-bike is behind you, you are a little bit more focused. It sounds maybe a bit stupid, or maybe it's just me, but if you know that the e-bike is behind you, you know your mom is watching at home, you cannot let the gap open up, you cannot make a mistake, you cannot take a bad line, you need to be smooth and fast. So for me, actually, I remember in the Cape many times that I was the last of the group, as always, many times, and just heard the e-bike behind me. It's like, okay, if I drop now, the whole world's gonna see it, so I need to give that little bit extra. So that push was always good, and it's a good sign if Stefan or Thomas is in your wheel.
An extra motivation for sure, and it's all part of bringing live coverage from the Bullsmeter e-bike. Oh,
and a big gap opened up to the second, the Torpedo 1 team. So already 1 minute 55. That means that Fabian is really hurting.
That graphic says it all. It's Fabian Ravenstein, the experienced Italian, an epic legend, riding with Casey South. Casey South leading the Italian and trying to limit the damage. They know that their 3rd spot on the overall podium is under threat. And Scott Racing are the feared team at the moment. As we look at the elite women in the right-hand screen, stopping at the next service station, just swapping bottles, getting some fresh hydration and fresh fuel on board. On the left, the chasing group led by the yellow jerseys, defending their overall lead. It's the team of Engadin Lepunt, about 45 seconds back off Scott Racing, and looking to limit that damage. They went into the race with a 3-minute 10 advantage over the next place riders on overall general classification, but that is Topata Kende FSA 1 that we're speaking about. They are worried about, of course, Scott Racing 2's position on general classification, which going into the stage was an advantage of 3 minutes and 28. A quick look at the virtual GC, where we would be if the race would stop right now. And Engadin Lepunt still would be in the lead, but their advantage on overall general classification has been chiseled down. It's been whittled down to 2 minutes and 42 seconds. 2 minutes and 43 seconds, more or less the 2 minutes 45 is the buffer that go into stage 5 if the racing were to stop now. But there's still 4 kilometers to go. It's relatively it's not tactical at this point, so it's a matter of just some firepower, and it's unlikely they'll get any help whatsoever from the Topada Kende FSA 2 team. De Cosmo and Doragoni happy to sit back. Team tactics, of course, important and at play, and they put De Cosmo and Doragoni at an advantage. We saw Engadin Lapunt, Baron Dern just taking a glance back, not only at the Topada Kende FSA 2 team, but just seeing if we can catch a glimpse of Rabensteiner and Casey South to see what kind of damage they're doing to the second place riders. Currently, before we went into the stage today, 3 minutes 10 advantage, and they know that advantage is stretching, but they'll need to turn their attention to Scott Racing.
Yeah, as you see here, if you could work together here with 4, you would definitely catch up some time, but Torpedo, they sit in. They let the leader jersey do the work, which they, of course, can do. It's not...
Scott Racing have passed through the 51.5 kilometers, 3.5 Ks to go for Goria and Fakoli after 2.5 hours of racing. Eagerly awaiting the arrival of Engadin Lapunt, the team that we see in front of us right now, riding with the Topada Kende FSA team, De Cosmo and Doragoni.
It would be a deserved stage win for Scott Racing for sure after these days. And here they have a small part they have to walk. Same for everybody, same rules, so that wouldn't change anything.
It's exactly the same. It's a compulsory portage section out of sensitivity for the farming community. Just a short portage section before they can climb back on their bikes and start racing again and putting down the power and hoping to close that gap to Scott Racing. Engadin Lapunt and Topada Kende FSA are past the 51.5 kilometer mark, 3.5 Ks to go, with a 51-second deficit to Scott Racing. Scott Racing are gaining time every kilometer with Goria and Fakoli charging hard. Fantastic performance. We see them in the screen right now. They are absolutely powered down, maximum effort. They know there's not just a stage at stake here. They can win a stage, but they also have incredible opportunity to move up the leaderboard. And currently, as it stands, they would be in second place on overall general classification.
Yeah, it's quite an important day for the overall. With 1 day left, every second can count for tomorrow. If it stays like it stands now, tomorrow it's going to be for Scott just all in, all risk, try to win this thing and don't think about second place, because if you can open up a gap around 1 minute today, you have the confidence to try it again tomorrow and try to actually win the stage. On the right side, the woman, the gap that closed it a bit, it seems like it's opened up again, so it looks like that Anna and Claudia, they have found their rhythm again and again are on a super strong day. It's really impressive to see how it's not, even if it looks maybe quite easy on TV and the gaps are significant, it's not easy as a rider to show up every day and get out of your bed 5:30, eat your oats, stay healthy, get your sleep, get motivated, get in the right headspace. So sometimes it looks easy, but having a leader jersey on your shoulders always is a heavy duty. But they do it with a lot of how can we say it? A lot of grace.
Absolutely, and that's all part of being a professional bike racer. Is following that routine, and the responsibility of leading a race is a great one. And both leaders, in fact, both in the elite men and the elite women, are doing their Chivita leader jerseys justice. As we look at the left, we're just coming into town now, and the team of Scott Racing 2, Stefano Goria, David Foccoli, fantastic day out for the Italians, looking more and more likely. The commentators' curse aside, they look good for a stage win, winning stage 4, second on stage 3, with Engadin Lapunt in hot pursuit. Overall general classification, Hans, would you say by my guess, they would have a 2.5 minute advantage over Scott Racing going into tomorrow's stage. Is that enough?
No. Especially not with the weight of the leader jersey. As starting a leader, the only thing you can do is actually lose it. You cannot win it again, so Scott Racing can win it, so they will they wake up tomorrow with one plan, and they are gonna race aggressive, and if you can open up like 1 minute today, like I said, but they're close to the finish now, and we would like to see the gap. It also will be important to see if they could open a bit more time on this last section, then it's really like team to team, and then we will see.
Well, here they are. Yes, sorry to interrupt you there, Hans. They have arrived and they've done it. The Scott Racing team, Stefano Guerrier and his partner David Foccoli, the Italians, have finally won a stage. Stage 4, it took them four days to do it. And clearly absolutely on form, Scott Racing too. And now they will look back at this chasing team. Engadin Lepunt, Fadri Barendun, Andre Bieli are looking to limit the damage with Tapada Kenda FSA team right glued to their wheel. De Cosmo and Doragoni are the Kenda FSA 2 team.
And they want second spot.
And they want that second spot. They're shifting already. There's some movements in that sprint finish. Engadin Lepunt will be happy to finish very much in touch with the Tapada Kenda FSA team. And that's what it's all about. Barendun will need to close that gap, make sure that that advantage that the Scott Racing have will be kept to an absolute minimum.
It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. I look forward to it.
What a remarkable day out. We saw that shift on that final climb, just as you predicted it, Hans. A long day out, and that final climb was super decisive. Fantastic for Guerrier and Foccoli. And another successful day out for Barendun and Bieli. Engadin Lepunt doing their yellow jerseys proud. And we are about to track Tapada Kenda FSA 1 team through towards the finish. Ravensteiner and Casey South. Unfortunately for them, not a successful day for the Italian and the Swiss pairing. David Ravensteiner suffering on that last climb and losing over a minute. And of course, time does have a funny way of multiplying when you are off the back.
And I'm very impressed by the leaders. Even though they're under pressure, they always stayed together. They worked very professional. It's not that they did an all-in attempt and then exploded. They dosed their efforts perfectly, which is for... They are experienced riders, but not experienced to be in the leader jersey till the last day. So really hats off for those two, because they stayed, like I said, stayed together, keep pushing to the end, have a good rhythm, don't lose 2 or 3 minutes and really get under pressure. They just focus on themselves, and that's absolutely good sign of experience and smart riding.
And successful tactics for the yellow jerseys, but also at the same time spare a thought for Ravensteiner and South, applying the same principles. And although they have lost 2 minutes and 23 seconds out on the stage today, they still live to fight another day and will be arguably still in contention for that podium spot.
And still, it's impressive if you see the trail, if you see the mountain where they went 2.5 hours ago, do more than 2,000 meters of climbing, have all those technical trails, and they are in before brunch time. It's sometimes I can do it myself on a good day, but it also still blows my mind how fast everything is going.
And the Climatiza Orbia team, David Valero and Jose Diaz, having a better, more successful day out, finishing today in 5th place, 3 minutes and 11 seconds down. We saw bad luck afflicting David Valero on stage 1, losing 17 minutes, putting them out of contention for the fight for overall general classification. They will look to be winning stage. Perhaps it's their day tomorrow in the grand finale, but of course with the charging Scott Racing and the race for overall general classification, not just for the stage, it's
it will be fast and furious tomorrow.
It'll be a very fast day. It won't be a day where any rider will let an errant breakaway go up the road. I think that would be highly unlikely. I think.
And for Climatiza today was a difficult day. They stayed all the time quite close to the front, so they saw them riding within 30, 45 seconds. So you keep chasing, pushing, try to close the gap, and then the race in the front really exploded, and then you pay that bill of always trying to catch up. So they probably hoped for more, and like you said, maybe tomorrow, even if there's at one moment some peace between the top riders in the front, they can sneak away, and would be good to see them. And yeah, still smiles at Team Torpedo after today. They did what they could, and
it looks like also they stuck to their plan, which is a good sign from their body language out in the Torpedo Kenda FSA team. The final results of stage 4. Korea and Fakoli Scott Racing 2 proved that their form for the race for the week is finally came to a head today. And after 2.5 hours of racing, they beat the pairing of Torpedo Kenda FSA and the Engadin Lapunt team to round out the podium for the day.
2 to 6 is Honeycomb coming in. They lose quite a bit of time today. I think they will drop down in the overall a bit.
And the Honeycomb 226s are currently in a chase group, you could say, with the Buff BH team. And I'm sure it's great to see your guys finishing another day out in the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, they look like they've been hurting, they've been racing hard, and they have another day tomorrow. And let's see, I also see one of the Italian riders coming in alone. He lost his partner along the way, unfortunately, I guess.
The Samparisis are effectively out of the race with having lost a partner. It's, of course, a two-person team race, but just to still soak it all up and enjoy the stages, and also to get the sense of racing and the conditioning that comes from racing at the highest level. And down to the winners of the day. We'll be chatting to Scott Racing 2's Stefano Goria and Davide Fakoli.
So we had a deal right in front of the start. If you win, we do the interview in Italian. So che prestazioni oggi, vincitore della tappa e riduzione?
Sì, oggi volevamo a tutti i costi vincere questa tappa. Dopo un po' la disfatta di ieri, oggi abbiamo attaccato fin dall'inizio. Siamo sempre andati a tutta, full gas ogni minuto, e non abbiamo mai mollato, e dietro stavano rientrando e stavano andando forte dietro, ma abbiamo sempre collaborato, io e Stefano siamo andati forte anche in discesa, e insomma questa tappa l'abbiamo conquistata, siamo super felici.
Ok, so tutto pronto per vincere la Swiss Epic?
Beh, non so quanto abbiamo di distacco in classifica generale adesso, sicuramente non sarà facile vincere questa Swiss Epic, però dai, siamo contenti perché a parte il primo giorno stiamo andando sempre più forte giorno dopo giorno, e oggi abbiamo attaccato dall'inizio. Onestamente stavo molto bene, avevamo detto che stamattina avremmo provato ad attaccare per ribaltare la classifica generale, per vincere la tappa, e come detto sì, io mi sentivo bene, ma Davide oggi volava, quindi devo davvero ringraziarlo perché ha tirato tutta la tappa, ha attaccato dall'inizio. Sicuramente abbiamo speso tante energie, però sicuramente siamo contentissimi di portare a casa anche una vittoria di tappa, quindi bello.
Grazie. But you felt really strong today. So from the outside, you've been always on top, and you're a machine today.
Yeah, I felt really strong today. We are in a really good shape, but to be honest, as I said before, Davide was flying today, so he pushed hard all the stage, so we are really happy, and he believed maybe more than me in this victory because he was flying, but we are in a good shape, so let's see tomorrow what we can do, and of course we will try everything we have in the legs to do a good stage, and maybe trying to win this stage race.
So, thank you very much for keeping fighting till the end in this Swiss Epic. Good to have you. Grazie mille. Ciao.
I think our Italian also limited us to one that we heard there. They're happy with that, and like we said, they're gonna go all in tomorrow. But also, what I picked up that they are also a bit. They were happy with the stage win. They're also focused on that, not only getting time back on the leaders, but now maybe they have the confidence that they could close up almost 1 minute. So
nothing like a win to give you confidence, and of course the winner's privilege being able to conduct in your home language, but we can pick up a lot of the body language that they're very happy with that stage win. Yes. Soon we'll be hearing from the leaders of the week, Fadri Barendun and Andreen Beely.
So Saturday is always good for a podium, huh?
Yeah, we are really happy because now we have the collection of the podium together. A first, a second and a third place. But no, I enjoy every day to race with Joe. We are really good friends. We was 3 weeks together in Sestriere altitude camp. Now we race here together, we suffer together, but we have a lot of fun, and yeah, I enjoy every moment. I'm really proud also about the shape. I started really strong this season, then I was sick, and yeah, June, July was really bad for me. And now I had some rest and a good training camp, and the shape is back. So yeah, I try to give my best and enjoy every moment.
Yeah. We just did a check, Joe. Yeah, general classification, you're on the podium as well.
Well, for me this week it's like a lot of suffering. Like every day it's like a lot of suffering, but I'm lucky that I have a strong head and I can suffer really well. And then like doing it with one of my best friends here, Jakob, it's like more easy, and yeah, we can also enjoy racing together. I don't know, maybe it will be our last stage race together. So we try to enjoy it a lot, and then we complete the podium. Now we are also on the podium of the GC. So tomorrow will be the last days. We can go all out.
All out. I know exactly what you did just before. You saw 1, 2, 3. Now we're on third place. What's the gap to the second place? It already calculated.
No, the gap to the second place is really big. Yeah.
But you did check it.
Yeah, I think it's 1:30. Yeah. We will see tomorrow, day by day, tomorrow last day, and how Joe said all out.
All out. Thank you. Grazie mille. A domani.
Apologies, we did see the interview from the second place on the stage, and that was Tapada Kende FSA, De Cosmo and Doragoni, two great friends, and indeed moving up the leaderboard to their third spot on general classification. Yellow jerseys, hearing from Engelden Lapunt and Fadri Barendun, Andreen Beely in just a moment.
You're looking perfect. Hold on, just a little. Yeah. We can see all your sponsors.
Fine.
Yeah. Oh, not 7 layers today, a bit less. Temperatures went up. You went up the mountains, so high altitude, a lot of climbing, but that suits you.
Yes, I think it suited us very well, especially the first climb. And then afterwards, the little kickers, they were really hard for me. Especially there was also when Scott pulled away. But in the end, the last climb, we could still go with a very good pace. And I think we can be happy with today.
Regular pace on the last uphill to the Ischalp. First I thought you lost a bit control, then I checked that Fabian lost a bit contact, and then you went all in on this last climb.
Yeah, like we knew that's the last hard climb of the day, and I knew it from the training 2 weeks ago. I knew exactly how long it is, how steep it is. So yeah, I was a bit at the limit in the middle of the climb, but I just had to pace myself, and in the end I think we did a good job.
You did a fantastic job. So there's still a big gap for tomorrow. So if we turn back to Wednesday, did you ever think about that? So it's so fantastic.
You know, we're so much higher than we ever expected to be, and it still feels incredible now. Every day in the yellow jersey, also tomorrow, and Yeah, of course, we give everything to bring it home. Scott is really strong, but yeah, it's unreal. I mean, we're both working part-time, we buy our bikes for ourselves, and it's so incredible to be in such a level with with the best of the sport, and I think we can already be really proud.
You have to be really proud. You're teasing the pros very much. So, but one thing, do you get informations about the gaps and stuff like that on course?
Yeah, maybe today we got 6 or 7 times the gaps from family members, which is really important. So yeah, you know, how much you have to push. So yeah, that's always the thing. Yeah, I want to know. It's good when they push us, but it's also really important that they give us the time gaps.
And every time you see them, that's the extra push, not?
Yeah, for sure.
So every time for me as well.
Thank you.
Danke vielmals. Hey, viel Spaß am Morgen. Wir sehen uns wieder da. Voll geil. Danke.
And a big contrast from the big teams that we've seen at the mountain bike stage racing at the Epic Series. The big outfits like in earlier days, the Bulls, of course the specialized factory racing team, the Buff BH team, and the big outfits like Topada, Kenda FSA, and the KTM Spada team as well. But big difference for the local team, Engadin Le Punt. But filling in very admirably are family members giving them time checks. And of course the local spirit, the local support going a long way to carrying the Swiss riders throughout the week in that coveted Chivita Leaders jersey. Currently with the women, the elite women, with 10 kilometers to go, and Weinbier and Peretti are enjoying a 5-minute and 50-second advantage on the day over Sosna Marquette.
Looks like that at Catalina they had a trouble maybe because they lose 2 minutes 20 on the Flüela Trail, and also Kertakas and Beuling, they're coming quite close now for the second spot. They're just 25 seconds behind now, so maybe there was a technical issue or cramps or just a bad day. But if you don't mind, Neil, I want to come back to the interview on with the leaders. They are very lucky in the way that they can play this card that they have once, that they a bit outsiders, that they have to buy their bikes. Well, I think next year they won't have to buy the bikes after this week. But next year, maybe the first day there was people saying, hey, they're local riders, we let them go and we open up 4 minutes. But you see now that the pros, they have a big problem for tomorrow to win the race. So that's the nice thing from racing. Unexpected things can happen, and well done by the boys by going all in all day, because you see how far that got them, and they're quite likely to win the Swiss Epic 2026.
A fantastic performance out there, and it does go a long way. It's not without trying. They've been back year after year at the Swiss Epic. They've been to the Cape Epic as well, and although it's never fair to say failure, but they haven't always had the greatest amount of success, despite the abilities of the massive talent that they've shown over the years. Just never quite able to put it together for a victory, and this is certainly their year. And also the gratitude. Interesting that what they said is they would be happy almost. I get the sense they'd be happy if the race were to end now, and their time in yellow much appreciated. So really great to hear from really heartfelt interview from Fadri Barendun and Andri Bieli. Leaders in the elite men and the leaders in the women category. Weinbier and Peretti in front of us right now. A classic scene we've seen, familiar scene. We see Anna Weinbier, the European champion in the marathon discipline, leading Claudia Peretti. Great performance from Peretti, the Italian champion, to match the, could say, the on-form marathon rider of the year, in fact, Anna Weinbier, worldwide. It's fair to say that if you win the European championships in the marathon discipline, it's pretty close to being a world champion, with many of the top riders hailing from Europe. Anna Weinbeer clearly on form. An athlete that not long ago was an amateur and now racing at the front end, the sharp end of the field in one of the biggest mountain bike stage races in the world.
As an amateur, she also already won many elite races. So now she also, you can see in body language, in style on the bike, how comfortable she is, how strong she is, and it's really good to see that she is just in a positive spiral. She's winning week after week, which is absolutely mentally not easy. It's not something like we said before. It's like we just train and we have this flow and we do what we want and we win all the races. It's a lot of dedication, hard work, a lot of small decisions you have to do right. But also choosing your partner for this race. Probably she have the chance of many riders, but then choosing Claudia, it's also a decision that works out very well for her. So yeah, it's good to see that also there's a kind of a rock star creating into women mountain bike racing, which is really good to see.
And we're currently with the pairing of Kortekas and Bolin. 7 minutes and 55 seconds back off the lead set by Weinbeer and Peretti. However, a look back is more significant in that the Sportograph.com team, who were lying on third overall, now on virtual general classification, are off that leaderboard. They are likely to, they're going to be moving off third spot is Bettina Janis and Kim Amis. 12 minutes and 45 seconds down on the stage. But Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin on a good day out and just doing exactly, riding within themselves and doing exactly what's required of them. The virtual GC elite women, the graphic on the bottom left, confirms that the team Marcy ISB Sport are moving up the leaderboard ahead of tomorrow's stage. Another loop around Davos. And the clock ticks down, the kilometers tick down with 9 kilometers to go as we track the women, the Bulls Media e-bike. Currently, the pilot of the Bulls Media e-bike is Thomas Ditch. Thomas, if you're able to hear me, tell us how things have played out on the day.
Oh, it's set to be a long stage now, and women are giving all what they can, and it will be nice to see the end of the stage. But really good riding from the movement.
Great to hear from the Bulls Media e-bike, not only giving us the pictures that tell 1,000 words, but also hearing from those who know best about mountain bike stage racing. And in a moment, we'll be able to chat to Stefan Sam, who has been tracking both the men and now is in touch with the lead women. Stefan, give us a quick account of what the trails have been like today. We've seen a massive variety of rough trails and, of course, some perfectly groomed trails, and now we're on the forest roads. Stefan, what's it like out there? Still establishing audio connection with Stefan Sam on the Bulls Media e-bike as we track Claudia Peretti, who is on the final climb. 9 kilometers to go for the pairing of Weinbeer and Peretti as they head up and put the finishing touches to another almost flawless stage out there. We've not seen them put a single foot wrong, and touch wood, not likely to do so, as they look very much in charge. No risks for the Italian-Swiss pairing, as they are within sight of the finish in Davos. A beautiful 55-kilometer loop around this spectacular alpine region. We are currently on the ground in the highest town in Europe. The riders have reached heights of up to over 2,300 meters. Hoornbeck was the highest point in the race, really early on, in fact. And that's was a brutal first climb, and that's where the move, it all really happened really early on in the stage, where the gap was created by Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti, with Sosna Pinelli and Marquette following Quartercast and Bolin. Also, the team we're seeing right now on the screen, Team Marcy ISP Sport. Quick look at the graphic. You can see how close they are to the finish, with Weinbier and Peretti almost about to pass through that 46-kilometer mark in that time check. And a few minutes, within 6 minutes 20 or so, to be a little bit more precise, we'll be able to see a confirmed time check where Sosna Pinelli and Marquette are. Of course, Tessa Quartercast, Amanda Bolin looking to gain time on Bettini, Yanis and Amos. Before they went into the stage, they were in 4th overall, the Marcy ISP Sport team, and looking to move up that leaderboard. 3 hours of racing about to elapse, 9 kilometers to go, and we're with the Bulls Media e-bike, Stefan Sam, Anna Weinbier, Claudia Peretti.
Also in the women's field, you see that the gaps are really opening up in this last climb, but Claudia is done with the suffering for today. She can enjoy the downhill now. Anyway, if you have time, I would like to speak about the stage of tomorrow. I was just checking the profile, and one thing I picked up from the interview from the leaders is that Fabri was a little bit suffering on the punchy stuff. He enjoyed the long climb, and as I see the profile tomorrow, it's a lot of punchy stuff, so I think we're not going to jinx anything, but I think we can crank up the excitement level and the intense racing for tomorrow a bit. There's a longer climb towards the end. So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting, and I can't wait to see it.
It'll be a close race for sure, and make sure that you tune in tomorrow for the broadcast to see how it all unfolds. It'll be down to the wire for sure in the elite men's race, as the gap on overall general classification has been reduced to under 3 minutes. And as you said, Hans, earlier on, that's not enough. Not enough to have a secure, comfortable ride to the finish for the Engadin LePunt team guys. Possibly could end up being one of the closer finishes we've seen at the Swiss Epic in recent history. We've seen some dominant performances and some close finishes. And tomorrow falls into the latter category for sure. We did see a huge effort on stage 1. It was like a prize fight, in fact. The first punch was thrown, which delivered a 4-minute and 25 advantage over their nearest rivals. And that over the coming week, or over the week that we've just witnessed, that lead has been cut into day by day. With the elite women currently behind the pairing of Sosna Pinelli and Marquette, 6 minutes and 25 down over the charging pairing of Weinbier and Peretti, the Swiss-Italian. Here we are with the Lithuanian champion on the start line. We always see the multicolored jerseys, not just the leader jerseys. We also see the multicolored national championship jerseys. The Lithuanian champion, Sosna Pinelli. With the Bulls Media e-bike of Thomas Ditch, will be able to give us, in just a moment, an account of the racing as it stands right now.
Yeah, I just got the second woman team. It's only 1 minute, a bit more than 1 minute in the last climb. Yeah, it can be a nice fight for the finish climb. Yeah, good to see. It's the last climb now, and we will hit in some minutes the last downhill.
Well, we heard from Thomas Ditch out on the road, the battle for the second spot. It looks likely that Weinbier and Peretti are going to be taking the stage win, barring incident, but all eyes on Sosna Pinelli and Marquette. Sosna Pinelli not as comfortable as her partner Marquette on these climbs, but the gap already is battle rather for the second place on the podium today of today's stage is going to be close fought with Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin. We're currently tracking with the Chivita leader jersey wearers as we descend off the last climb as the riders head into Davos. Already in Davos, we're going to be speaking to some of the riders on the ground after a hard-fought 55-kilometer stage, a loop stage around Davos. Catch an aerial view of Stefan Sam tracking the leaders as they put the final touches. The groomed trails, some of the most coveted trails in the world and accessible to all who visit this beautiful region. Eight kilometers to go for the pairing of Anna Weinbeer. And it's all to play for in the women's category. KTM Sparta Brent Breaks Olympia, Weinbeer and Peretti are another great day out and no threat to their overall lead. Topana Kida FSA Women and Marcia ISP Sport locked in a battle for the second spot on the podium on today's stage.
Neil, if you don't mind, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna get my riders are coming in, so they have to have the recovery shakes, and you can enjoy the podium.
Thank you for joining us, Hans, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
Onto the podium, the ceremony and the celebrations of the top three teams on the day. As we hand over to Paul Kay, who will announce the winners.
Lovely goodies from Davos courses back on. Davisa, Swanko Platz, second position on the stage. Torpado Kenda FSA 2, Giore de Cosmo, Jacob Corrigoni. Grazie mille, Larissa. Now, your winners on stage for 55 kilometers, 2,150 meters of climbing. We've had 4 stages and 4 different teams winning so far this Swiss Epic. It is our team, Scott Racing 2, Stefano Doria, Davide Foccoli. Complimenti ragazzi, congratulations, what a day, winning our penultimate stage. Third place, Engeling Lapun. Second, Torfano Kenda FSA 2. And stage winners, Stefano and Davide from Scott Racing 2. Congratulations and thank you so much. Grazie a tutti. We're going to do a little reset on stage, and we're going to present you now the winners of the yellow jerseys, our cheerleader-sponsored category leaders jerseys, and all leaders.
And the final results in writing. Correa and Foccoli win De Cosmo and Dorigoni 51 seconds back, coming in the sprint finish with the Engadin Lapunt team, the yellow jersey wearers Barendon and Bieli. Ravensteiner and South lost time today, and Topada Kenda FSA team have their work cut out for them tomorrow as we go into the final stage. General classification, Barendon and Bieli hang on to their lead. It's now down to 2 minutes and 35 seconds over the charging Scott Racing team. Correa and Foccoli are challenging for that lead. De Cosmo and Doragoni shift up another position on general classification. Tapata Kenda FSA 2 are 4 minutes and 6 seconds back, closely followed by their compatriots and teammates Rabensteiner and South. Pritson and Stjeli move off the leaderboard, off the top 3, and are now 8 minutes and 8 seconds back. Fantastic performance again, defending those Chivita yellow leaders jerseys. Team Engadin Lapunt, Fadri Barandun and Andreen Bailey. What a performance from this local team against some of the top teams in the world, some of the top outfits in the world, and highest performing athletes in the game of mountain bike stage racing. They have overcome the odds, and after stage 4 they hang on to their lead. 2 minutes and 35 seconds they have over their nearest rivals going into the final stage.
The Super Swiss combo, Andreen and Fadri. Sehr gut gemacht und alles Gute für die letzte Etappe morgen. Danke, liebe Leute. That is the Liebmann presentation.
Tracking the elite women at 4 kilometers to go. We are with the team of Sosna Pinelli and Georgia Marquette, the Tapata Kenda FSA women team. And they are second place on the stage today with all to play for still. Weinby and Peretti lead the day, lead the stage and lead the race, in fact, on overall general classification. And all eyes to what a team of Massey ISB Sport are up to right now and where they are, because it looks likely they've been locked in a battle with the team of Sosna Pinelli and Marquette. Giannis Onama seem to be out of the picture, over 13 minutes down, almost 14 minutes down, in fact, moving off the leaderboard likely when they reach the finish. And Tessa Kortekas, Amanda Bolin are highly aware of this and looking to stand on that top step of the, not the top step, the third step of the podium, and in fact any step of the podium at the end of the Swiss Epic is a prestigious place to stand for sure. Georgia Marquette leads her Lithuanian compatriot, Lithuanian teammate down the trails as they are close. They'll be able to almost hear the announcer at this point, and they'll get a sense of just how close they are to the finish. They'll know on their GPS units. They'll be closely watching and counting down the kilometers as they head into Davos, into the town. As we get an aerial view in the compulsory portage section, out of sensitivity to the farmlands that surround the region and surround the town. They'll be back on their bikes in just a moment. The current leaders, Weinby and Peretti, have reached that compulsory portage section, and with the second place team about to reach that point. And great cooperation between this pairing, Sosna Pinelli and Marquette, knowing each other very well. They're experienced not only in their own rights, but also experienced riding together. Great team dynamic and good cooperation between these two. They're great friends. And Sosna Pinelli speaks Italian, lives in Italy. Georgia Marquette, an Italian national. And with the Lithuanian champion living locally, you could say they have plenty of time to prepare together, and this puts them in good stead for yet another podium spot on overall general classification as we track the leaders in as they head into the last few kilometers into Davos. We're here on the line. The race started this morning. The riders had 55 kilometers ahead of them, with the widest variety of trails we've seen in mountain bike stage racing. Rough and raw, remote trails, footpaths, to the groomed single track. Most notably, the 2,150 meters of climbing. Highest point in the race, 2,322 meters, Hohenweg, in the early part of the stage. Before the 10-kilometer mark, in fact, they reached the highest point in the race. And any stage racer in mountain biking will tell you that 2,150 meters of climbing over 55 kilometers is a concentrated day of alpine mountain biking. Challenging day, but not without its rewards. Not only the beautiful views that the Alps have to show, but also the beautiful Swiss villages and towns that the race visits, including the town of Davos, the highest town in Europe. As the riders are already in town, and we follow them as they head under the culvert, and that is the sign that the stage is nearly finished. Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Bolin, the Swedish champion, we're witnessing right now, descending on those groomed single track trails, currently lying third on the stage. And a beautiful day out in Davos. Currently temperatures are below the 15-degree mark, currently recording at 12 degrees. And although the temperatures are not temperatures that we've seen throughout the previous weeks in Switzerland and in Europe, in fact, we still, at least, we have fairly clear skies and relatively dry grounds after the rainfall over the previous days, which, of course, has caused a few changes in the course. We saw an adjustment to the course on stage 2 and stage 3. We were unable to breach the Scaletta Pass, but nonetheless, race or route designer Stefan Wolfersberger has plenty of trails up his sleeve. He was able to design a course overnight, sent the riders over another classic alpine mountain biking experience. Today, the stage was set and stood as it was originally planned. 55-kilometer stage, 2,150 meters of climbing, taking the riders over the Panorama Trail, Gotschnaboden Trail, the A-line, and after the Wolfgang climb, the Droschetta Trail, the Flüela Trail, and the Bolgan Trail. All high variety of trails over the course of the day, as we are hosted by the Graubünden region in Switzerland. With the Bulls Media e-bike, Stefan Sam tracking in the final kilometer as we head onto the grass. And we know as soon as the riders touch the grass with their tires, they will be almost ready to lead into the finish. What a performance, not just today, another day, Weinbier and Peretti, as they finish at another stage in the lead. They have made it 4 out of 4. Quick thumbs up from Stefan Sam. Bit of a congratulations and some time to celebrate. That is the rider's dream, to celebrate a stage win solo. No need to sprint. They already have put their advantage down. Tremendous victory from this pairing. Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti, KTM Sparta Brenta Breaks Olympia. Yet another stage, yet another great day out, putting more time into their rivals and further cementing their chances at that final spot, the top spot of the podium on overall general classification. Great bond between this pairing, although it was a special pairing for this particular race, for the Swiss Epic. They have developed the all-important bond and team dynamic. That's what what it takes to succeed at mountain bike stage racing, and especially in a race as challenging as the Swiss Epic. All smiles for the pairing. The European champion and the Italian champion celebrate crossing the line here in Davos. Tracking now, the Bulls Media e-bike is with the second team out on the trails today. And the team of Tapada Kende FSA women, Katarzyna Sosna-Pinelli and Georgia Marquette, they went into the stage, second place overall and second place on the stage. Third place on overall general classification as it stands right now before we finish the stage is Bettina Janis and Kim Amos. They're currently fourth on the stage, third on general classification. However, if we look at the live GC and where they are on the stage behind the team of Masi ISB Sport, they are going to lose that third place on overall general classification. Nonetheless, they'll be looking to enjoy the final sections of trail as they head into Davos. The team of Bettina Janis and Kim Amos, the German pairing, experienced Germans as they descend this beautiful single track section. And there it is, the virtual GC. If the race were to finish right now, we'll get the final time checks once the field has finished. Weinbein Peretti have a 31-minute, 58-second advantage over Sosna-Pinelli, who have actually finished the stage, or about to finish the stage, in fact. Kortekas and Bolin have leapfrogged Janis and Amos on overall general classification. And I misspoke because here we are tracking the Lithuanian and the Italian as they're about to finish the stage, riding at a good speed, a good clip, you could say. The live speed showing that they're riding over 35 kilometers an hour on this flat section before they dip under the culvert. And then we know just a few hundred meters to go before we will see them arrive at the finish here in Davos. Over 3 hours of racing, 3 hours and 21 minutes of racing. Katarzyna Sosna-Pinelli, the Lithuanian 35-year-old, has an illustrious Epic Series history. She has won the Four Islands Epic, and in fact with Georgia Marquette, completing the Epic Series crown and achieving Epic Legend status with Marquette. She's currently ranked 20th in the world on the UCI Marathon circuit, and she's been 13 times Lithuanian champion. Cape Epic in the 2026 edition, third overall, riding with Georgia Marquette, a well-established pairing here. And the APSA Cape Epic being the pinnacle of the Epic Series. A great result for them this year in March. Georgia Marquette ranked 19th, just one position above her partner at the moment. 15 professional wins and 1 World Cup win and 3 World Cup podiums, having been the Italian champion. Established a great dynamic between this pairing for the team of Tapada, and fantastic to see this playing out on the stage as they are almost about to reach us in Davos. We're waiting for the second place team out on the trails right now. Georgia Marquette leads Katarzyna Sosna-Pinelli. Topada Kende FSA women, the final few meters as they hit the grass, and we'll see them cross the line in just a moment. And we can see the finish line just ahead of them as they pull onto the field, and they'll be able to celebrate another day out, a successful day out for the pairing. Second place on the stage, the 55-kilometer stage after 2,150 meters of climbing. Stage 4, in fact, I beg your pardon. They are second on the day and keep a firm grasp on second on overall general classification. That is the fantastic performance from the Topada Kende FSA team. Another great day out for the Lithuanian and the Italian, and enjoying the spoils of another great performance, and not quite ready yet to look back at the clock. It's just to see how their rivals are doing. Their rivals, of course, being Marcy ISP Sport. No great threat on overall general classification. Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Boland are riding steadily into the finish. Overall general classification seemingly more or less established at this point in the race. Stage 4, 4 stages done and 1 stage to go. We're tracking Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Boland. They're currently third on the stage as we watch the pairing of Marcy ISP Sport pull into the finish. Tessa Kortekas, a former winner of the Swiss Epic, riding with the Colombian Monica Calderon this year, switching partners to Amanda Boland, showing that she is versatile and that this pairing is already becoming established as a successful pairing in mountain bike stage racing. Tracking the riders in on the roads through Davos with Tessa Kortekas and Amanda Boland. Tessa Kortekas is listed as a Dutch rider, although she lives in Spain and holds honor of being a multiple Spanish champion in the marathon discipline. She's won the Four Islands Epic, she's won the Swiss Epic, and she was 4th overall at the Absa Cape Epic in 2025. Kortekas is ranked 27th in the world in the marathon discipline, and her partner Amanda Boland is currently ranked 6th in the world. Boland is a 2-time Swedish national champion, and this year at the European Championships, the race that was won by Anna Weinbier, Amanda Boland placed 7th. Here they are. Not only have they taken 3rd place on the stage, stage 4 into Davos, the loop around Davos, they have also put significant time into their rivals, Sportograph.com. They'll have reason to celebrate because they'll have time on the podium today and look likely for time on the podium tomorrow after the grand finale, once the overall general classification has been decided. Long way to go still, with a stage still to come. We're in the penultimate stage now. Tomorrow, of course, the final stage. And It is a challenging route out. 65 kilometers to go still for this pairing to hold on to that third spot on overall podium. 65 kilometers, 2,350 meters. We heard Hans Becking talking about the punchy nature of the trails. They'll be tackling some of those world-famous trails, including the Gotschnaboden Trail, the Wolfgang Trail, the Ischalp Trail that we saw today. 65 kilometers, 2,300 meters of climbing. We'll hear a little bit more about the, we'll see a little bit more about the route. We'll check out the map and the profile. But notably, the highest point in the race is over 2,000. Smiles all round for the team of Bolin and Kortekas. Kortekas, a former winner of this race. She knows what it's like to stand on the top step, but will be very happy with their performance today, moving up the leaderboard. Disappointing day, first day, as they lost significant time to their rivals. Today, a better day. They're known to be riders who get better throughout the week. They are experienced campaigners in stage racing. That's what it's all about. It's about how you finish and not necessarily about how you start. And we see scenes from Davos, from the finish line, from the riders area, as the next phase of the day begins. It's the recovery phase. Quick look at the final results. Weinbeer and Peretti dominant throughout the week, and of course in today's stage, KTM Sparta Brenta Breaks Olympia. 3 minutes 12, 56. 3 hours 12 minutes and 56 seconds of racing, putting them over 6 minutes ahead of their rivals. We're tracking with the 5th place women at the moment, Julike Powell and Linda Dietering. The team named Royally Exhausted Seawork Cares as they head towards Davos. Dario Linda, our commentator out in the field, is currently with the winners of the stage today in the elite women, and we'll be hearing from them in just a moment.
Okay, another stage, another win. You look quite relaxed, even during the race. We even had time for a small chat.
Yes, we had. I was happy to see you. Yes, no, we are happy. Yes, it was a wonderful day. After yesterday, it was hot, but we had a good recovery, a lovely evening with the team, and yes, today we enjoy a lot.
Did you enjoy it as well? When you came in, you told me something.
Yeah, I think I'm not enjoying the race like Anna because she smiled also during the race, and me no, but sometimes I smile, but
yes.
Only in the downhill. In the uphill no, but yeah, I really love this track in Davos, and I hope tomorrow will be the same.
Hopefully you can enjoy both. Really good tomorrow. The downhills today, they've been a bit slippery, I heard.
Yes, it has both. The Panorama Trail was very good, but then the Gotschnaboden, I think, there it was on the top a little bit slippery, but good rideable. I think it could be worse.
Okay, so tomorrow the weather is a bit better than today. It's drying up a bit. That brings the motivation again up, or are you anyway motivated?
But I think with the sun you have more energy, and you have warmly willing to do the race and to maybe also enjoy the view at the top of the climb.
Yeah, and Gotschnaboden that was really nice. Is it hard to be concentrated if you know that you have a 30 seconds gap, or?
We didn't know it.
No, the gap was 30 minutes, sorry,
wow.
in the general classification, yeah. Is it hard to stay concentrated, because it's quite comfortable?
No, for me not. I'm motivated to do the best all day, and of course it's a little bit less pressure, but we are motivated to concentrate and do a good race.
Okay, so thank you. See you tomorrow again.
See you.
See you. Grazie mille, danke vielmals.
Great to hear from the winners of the day and the leaders on overall general classification. And indeed, they currently, the official time check isn't in yet, or the timing boards aren't in yet. But we've got confirmation that it's just under 32 minutes advantage on overall general classification. KTM Spada Brenta Breaks Olympia lead Tapata Kenda FSA women by 31 and 59 seconds. In just a moment, we're going to be hearing from Katarzyna Sosno-Pinelli and Georgia Marquette with Daria Linde down on the line.
He's the boss. Okay, you secured a nice third place today.
Yeah, another one, and third in general as well. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
Number.
Yeah. Always 3.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But how was the situation on course? So was it quite different than yesterday? Because it was a bit closer together, I thought.
Today, yeah, this is the course we like, I think, when it's more longer uphills and more technical downhills. It suits us better, I think.
Yeah, I think, well, we set the pace in the beginning of the stage on the long climb to see how they would react. And I think that was also the part where we had to try to make a gap to win time in the general classification. As we know, they are very good on the downhills, so they probably got time back on us. So, yeah. I suffered on the hill, but I had power and I felt confident, and so the rest of the stage we just tried to keep a good rhythm and stable, and yeah.
Looking forward. How hard is it not to overcook on an uphill like that? Do you control the watts or the heart rate, or you talk to yourself, or?
The watts, but I have to see, so my partner is with me, so not far away. So then I try to find our rhythm, and then I set the pace over for that. So not too hard, but not.
So you're not singing for the rhythm?
Honestly, I've got my chorus, my like GPS, just the track. I only see the track. I go on feelings. I don't want to see my heart rate. I don't want to see my watts. Really.
And that's not hard for you? So you know your body that good?
I think I get more nervous when I see numbers and I start to think in my head, okay, this heart rate is too high for those watts, or those watts are very high and I'm not going to be able to hold. You know, if I just see the track and I don't see numbers, I don't think too much. I just suffer and try to hang on.
Okay, cool insight. Thank you very much. Danke vielmals. See you tomorrow again. Yee-hoo, bis morgen.
And indeed, that was Masi ISP Sport. My apologies. No doubt we'll be hearing from Tapata Kenda FSA women in a moment. Masi ISP Sport know that they have moved up the leaderboard on general classification. And with Sportograph.com finishing the stage, a look at the results here on general classification. We can see that Anna Weinbier and Peretti are the dominant team. 31 minutes and 59 seconds ahead of their nearest rivals, Sosno-Pinelli and Marquette. Tessa Kortekas move up to third with Amanda Bolin. Masi ISP Sport, 42 minutes and 28 seconds behind. But notably, Bettini Yanis Kemamas, Sportograph 44.58. We expected a bigger gap between Kortekas and Bolin and Yanis and Amas at the finish. Yanis and Amas clearly riding steadily, the experienced pairing, but that third spot on the overall podium is still very much up for grabs between Masi ISP Sport and Team Sportograph.com. Quick look at the highlights from today. Stage 4. Looper on Davos, 55 kilometers. Another spectacular alpine day out.
podium, we're happy. And you're on the podium?
Yes, today we bring the second place in the third stage. We are super happy. It was a thrilling final because my pedal go away, but we fix it with the multi-tool of Kata, and fortunately we arrive at the finish line. Today was a great day for us. We did a strong performance.
So your pedal went off the spindle and was on your shoe then, or what?
No.
Totally somewhere else?
Yes. Okay. Some meter away. And we stopped, we fix, and we restart.
Okay. And now, Katarzyna, your biggest fan is here, huh? Come on, yeah. He's always waiting for you at the finish line.
Yeah. Ili, she's my little daughter.
Yeah, she was here right in front when you entered. So, do you think she feels when you're coming in?
Yeah, she waiting for me because she very attacked me and my not boyfriend, but
partner in crime.
Partner in crime. Yeah.
Some kind of yeah.
She's the mascot of the team. Everything, everyone, yes,
Team
everyone go to
engine,
Ili, and
then you calm down.
Yes, and we are happy to have Ili.
Great to have such a big mascot. Hey, tomorrow, I think you can relax a bit. The gap to the third place is around 10 minutes, I think.
Oh wow, it's good. Not relax, never relax. Tomorrow it's another day, another battle. Come si dice in italiano, fino in fondo.
Okay. You can take your dog with you for tomorrow. In a backpack?
Maybe it's possible. Yeah.
Do you do that sometimes? Right?
Yeah, she's like.
Okay, we will see. Yeah. Probably have to say, Giorgio, grazie mille. Grazie mille. A domani. Grazie.
Ciao.
Great to see the team spirit, and of course great to meet the team mascot of Topada Kende FSA Women, Katarzyna Sosna-Penele and Georgia Marquette, in good spirits after the stage, as we take a look at the more highlights from the stage for the loop around Davos, the 55-kilometer loop in the beautiful Graubünden region. And in just a few moments, we'll be joining the podium ceremony of the elite women, as we see the top 3 women enjoy their moment of glory as we have just finished stage 4. Hand over to Joanne Murphy, who is down on the line with the celebrated riders of the moment of the stage.
In third place on a stage of 4, please welcome Massey, ISB Sport, Tessa Corticas, and Amanda Bolin. Our dignitary for today's presentation, Project Manager Davos Clusters Tourist Organization, Larissa Kohler. Let's now celebrate your second fastest team across the line this morning. For Torpedo, Kenda, FSA Women, Kanazima Sosna Pinele, and Georgia Marquette. Let's now celebrate your stage winners. They will have the top step off the podium every day this week, and it's no different today on stage 4. Your champions of the stage for KTM Spanner Brighton Breaks Olympia, please welcome Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti. The elite women with a definitive win today, 6 minutes and 26 seconds to spare. Congratulations to the top 3 fastest women's teams and your stage winners for KTM Spanner Brighton Breaks, Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti. A huge thank you to our dignitary Larissa Kohler, representing Davos Clusters Tourist Organization. Stand by now for the presentation of the orange race leaders cheerleader jersey.
Quick recap on the final results in the women's category. The elite women, Weinbier and Peretti, won the stage over Sosna Pinelli and Marquette. Tapara Kent FSA women in second. Tessa Corticas, Amanda Bolin, Marcy ISB Sports, pairing at 10 minutes and 20 seconds off the lead. For a short while, we'll see the overall general classification leaders, and that belongs to Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti. A dominant performance by the pairing, just under 32 minutes advantage over their nearest rivals. And here they are, Anna Weinbier and Claudia Peretti.
Congratulations, our race leaders. Enjoy the celebrations on the podium. Heading into stage 5, the final day of racing tomorrow. On the top step of the podium as we go back to the finish line and get ready for more action.
Stage 5, and it's one last push for the week. After 5 stages, we'll finally reach the final destination. This is the grand finale. One last chance at glory and another opportunity to soak it all up. The final stage delivers a fast stage, climbing to Ischalp at 2,007 meters, before linking together some of the most iconic trails of the region and the world, as we ride through the fairy tale forests of the Gotschnaboden past the picturesque village of Monstein and enjoy spectacular sections of the Alps' epic trail Davos. Final push, and there's the Ischalp Trail and the Wolfgang Trail awaiting them. A fast flowing descent carrying the riders back to Davos after 65 kilometers and 2,350 meters of climbing. 500 riders will well and truly be able to say they have conquered the Alps. With stage 4 done and one more to go, tomorrow is the grand finale and the race reaches a fever pitch. 13th edition of the Swiss Epic has taken shape and there's still more to come. Today there was a wide variety of trails, more challenging climbs with Swiss alpine scenery setting the stage in Graubünden, and more awaits on the last day. Stay tuned as we explore this beautiful region, the home of trails, Graubünden, as the riders conquer the Alps. And it's goodbye from all of us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
20 seconds ago, stand by for the gun. You are now in the hands of the star. Elation.